Harry Kane!
One of the most exhilarating down-to-the-wire championship fights we have seen.
The world's greatest drivers gather.
Oh, right on the door handles.
What a spectacle! Kick on the way! There is nothing like the Super Bowl. Let's make history! This is sensational! The genius of modern boxing!
Saturday Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
If you had the choice, what prize would change your life?
Yes!
Competitions from as little as 5p per entry. What are you waiting for? You could be next to change your life with that prize guy.
AWSAI is leading innovation in sports. Now fans can dive into every detail of the Bundesliga, understand Formula One strategy as it unfolds, see NBA insights that were once invisible, and get closer to every shot on the PGA Tour. How do the world sports leagues advance? AWSAI is how.
Introducing the casino you love to hate, Mr. Q.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Welcome to the Copper Box, nestled in the heart of the Olympic Park in Stratford for the prelims card ahead of Harlem Eubank versus David Papot. We're live on DAZN and the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel, and we have 6 fights here for you between now and the start of the main card at 7 p.m. We start with Jamie Barrett against Stefan Vincent. Jay Pittman then takes on Enzo Bahena Munoz. JP O'Meara then up against Cesar Ignacio Paredes. Finley James against Jack Hensey is our next bout. We go to the heavyweights for Matty Harris and Ben Vickers, and we round it off with Aaron Prosper against Mikey Saki. Gary Barfoot alongside the former British and European super bantamweight champion of the world, Spencer Oliver, the newly married Spencer Oliver as well. Congratulations, my friend. Just a line about the main event tonight. Harlem Eubank against David Papot should be an exciting one.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Harlem Eubank looking to continue that road to world title honours, and he's in for a tough one here against David Papot, a very tough campaigner who's only ever lost to Liam Pyro. That was on point, so big fight here for Harlem Eubank, and a big springboard and launch pad for him here at the Copper Box.
He hopes one step away from challenging for world title honours. And just a quick one, should be an exciting prelims card as well. Any names we should be watching out for?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Obviously, you mentioned him, Big Matty Harris. He's looking to continue his road. The heavyweights are always exciting, and we've got some great prelim fights as well. through the card. Really looking forward to it. Real 50-50s actually in this one. Sean Noakes, obviously he's going in a very tough fight against Kieran Malloy, sorry. That's two undefeated fighters going head to head. So yeah, very exciting fights here on the undercard.
Exciting fights to look forward to. Let's get them kicked off. It's over to your MC for the evening. Here's Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Zone YouTube channel. Welcome to the Copper Box Arena here in London, England, United Kingdom, for a night of professional championship boxing, brought to you by MF Pro, Nielsen Boxing, and the Zone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for our first bout of the evening, scheduled for 3-minute rounds in the super lightweights division. Please welcome to the ring, Stefan Vincent.
Here comes Stefan Vincent then, the man from Portsmouth, who has had a very varied career, that is for sure. He is very much the archetypal journeyman, and did appear in Boxing News just a few months ago in a feature named Britain's Road Warriors. He's here to give the test to Jamie Barrett. Spencer, what kind of test will he give him?
Well, listen, he comes with a wealth of experience. That's what we do know. Yes, he's only won 2 out of his 49 contests so far of those, and those 2 have come inside the distance. But he brings experience here against Jamie Barrett, who has only had 1 contest. And this is all about the learning curve. This is really the beginning of the journey here for Jamie Barrett, but this guy will test him for sure.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Jamie Barrett.
I was 18 years old when I went down to Dublin with a fistful of money and a candle of greens.
Here comes Jamie Barrett, as you said, Spencer, just his second pro outing, but I was fortunate enough to meet up with his family outside. They're excited about this man, and with good reason.
Yeah, they certainly are, and he's brought a great crowd with him. We're looking at a 7-time national amateur champion, now trained by Martin Bowers over in the famous Peacock Gym. This kid is an exceptional amateur, actually had 28 fights as an amateur, only losing the 2. And he's now turned professional at this young age. Big opportunity for him here, big showcase at the Copper Box Arena. As I said, he has brought tremendous support with him as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds in the super lightweights division. This bout is brought to you by MF Pro, Nielsen Boxing, and the Zone, and proudly sponsored by Oosh, Rainbed, Killer Pablo, and Cole. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Ben Harmsworth and Des Rees. Your timekeeper at the bell, John Smith, and your third person in charge of the action in the ring, referee Amy Pooh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the black and yellow. His official weight of 146.2 pounds. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, his 50th professional fight. Hailing from Portsmouth, England, United Kingdom, introducing Stefan the Wasp Vincent. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black and green. His official weight of 144.8 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 1 win. Hailing from Gerrards Cross, Slough, England, United Kingdom. Introducing Jamie the Side Barrett.
Boxers, listen to my instructions at all times. Watch your heads, no low blows. When I say break, step back. Protect yourself at all times, touch gloves.
Well, plenty of talk and hype around this man, Jamie Barrett. But these are the nights where he has to prove what it's all about against a man who will be difficult to put away. Stephen Vincent has come here to have a row. What has Jamie Barrett got to do to look good in this one, Spencer?
This is all about stamping your authority early. And Jamie Barrett looks like he wants to do that as he's taking centre of the ring straight away, putting Vincent on the back foot, but it's not allowing Vincent to grow into any sort of confidence, because, as I say, these journeymen, if they get a little bit of confidence, they grow into it, they can make life very, very difficult. And Jamie Barrett recognised that. Martin Bowers in the corner would have told him that. They say, go out there, son, take that centre of the ring and take control. And that's exactly what he's doing here in the opening of this first round.
Sharp, snappy jab out of the southpaw stance, and then he's really firing those left hands into the chest area. The first touchdown from Vincent not called, but he's taking a few heavy shots here.
Yeah, Vincent already on the defensive, already in survival mode, and we're talking about the first minute of the first round here. He recognises he's in with an exceptional young talent who comes with a big reputation from the amateur game, big things expected of him in the professional ranks, and he started this one well, hasn't he?
Really whipping that left hand around, landed that hook a couple of times as well. Jamie Barrett actually beat Adam Macker a couple of years ago in the amateurs, a man who Matchroom, of course, have got high hopes for. At the moment, he's causing Stephen Vincent all manner of problem.
Yep, Vincent covering up well on the ropes, but Barrett finding those holes, just winged in the right hook to the body there, boxing out the southpaw stance, and he's controlling the space nicely here.
Can't miss at the moment, Barrett. And there's a real air of confidence, a calmness, and now he's rattling Vincent's head back and forth on the ropes there.
Yeah, Vincent looked like he was shaky there. He looked like he was in a little bit of trouble.
Needs to get through this last minute. Barrett asserting his dominance with his strength as well. Just manhandling Vincent.
Left hands through the middle there. Vincent felt both of those as well, and he's got to use all his experience just to hang in here in this first round. Fast start here from Barrett, and Vincent in a bit of trouble on the ropes. The referee is taking a close look
Taking
here.
a good look, and that straight left again right through the middle brings this one to a close. Jamie Barrett moves to 2-0, a first win by stoppage. That was as emphatic as it was impressive.
Yeah, Gaz, that was an exceptional performance there. Jamie Barrett went out from the opening bell, done what Martin Bowers told him to do, take control early, gain the respect of your opponent, and he'd done just that. Took the centre of the ring lovely and found his range. The distance control was brilliant, shot selection excellent, and you wouldn't believe, actually, he was watching a young kid only having his second professional fight there, because that was a very mature performance.
Puts his man away. Stephen Vincent, the 35-year-old, loses in his 50th bout. And as Jamie Barrett just asked for a little bit of advice from Spencer, how did you like it? He said, you loved it, didn't you?
Absolutely, just a little thumbs up there. Listen, you've done everything you were meant to do there, Jamie. You come out, you stole the show, you was going to impress, you wanted to impress. Sometimes for a young fighter, actually, they can go out there and they're over-eager and they try too hard and you're looking for the knockout, and sometimes that knockout never comes and you can spoil your own performance. This kid didn't. He went out there, he controlled things early, and it was a brilliant, excellent finish.
Well, let's make it official. Here's Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 2 minutes and 27 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by TKO, still undefeated, Jamie the Saint Barrett.
Well, it took Jamie Barrett the full 4 rounds to put away the Iceman Ryan Frost last time out. It's taken him just 1 round to put away Stephen Vincent. The Wasp dealt with in impressive fashion. He swatted away the man from Portsmouth. He's 2-0, and I expect to see Jamie Barrett making a few waves in this super lightweight division.
Yep, Really good performance there from this young fighter in the super lightweight division. He's stacked with talent. And keep your eye on this kid, because I think there's a new generation of fighters coming through. Remember the name Jamie Barrett, because you'll be hearing a lot more of him for sure.
And interesting, his brother Nathan in there as well, who's also 2-0. The Barrett fighting family. They gave him the big sell outside the copper box this morning, and that was quite rightly so. Great stuff from Jamie Barrett. We are underway in the prelims. Barrett with the opening victory of the evening. Well, our second fight is already waiting in the wings, so let's get them out. Here's Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for our next bout of the evening, scheduled 6 3-minute rounds in the super featherweight division. Please welcome to the ring, Enzo Munoz.
So fresh, good.
Enzo Munoz, the Argentinian, getting roundly booed for obvious reasons as he struts his way to the ring. 4-15-4, just 23 years old. And here to give Jay Pittman everything he can handle tonight.
And he will do just that. These Argentinians are notoriously tough. His 4 victories have all come inside the distance. Expect this kid to be giving up no ground. He's going to be there in front of Pittman the whole way, but Pittman, an incredible talent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Jay Pittman.
Plenty of support in the building for Jay Pittman, the man they call the Kid. He's a good-looking boy with plenty of Instagram followers, but here's his chance to shine in the ring. 5-0, yet to stop anyone. Can he down his Argentinian opponent tonight?
Yep, and to build on that, Gaz, that 5-0, he's had 22 rounds completed in that 5-0 and never lost a round. This kid is an excellent tactician, stylist, brings a big crowd, huge ticket seller, as you can hear. They've turned out here early for him. But Monzo will cause him some problems. He's a tough kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the super featherweight division. This bout is brought to you by MF Pro, Nielsen Boxing, and DAZN, and proudly sponsored by Oosh, Rainbed, Killer Pablo, and Cold. This bout is sanctioned by British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Des Reese and Ben Harmsworth. Your timekeeper at the bell, John Smith. And your third man in charge of the action in the ring, A-star referee, Kieran McCann. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out in the blue corner, he's wearing the black with purple. His official weight of 127.5 pounds. He has a record of 23 fights, 15 losses, 4 draws, 4 wins, and 2 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Buenos Aires, Argentina, introducing Enzo Bahiano El Toro Munoz. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white, black, and blue. His official weight of 127 pounds, bang on. He's currently undefeated with 5 wins. Hailing from Gloucester, England's United Kingdom, introducing Jay the Kid Pittman.
You both know the rules, you will obey my commands at all times. When I tell you to break clean, take a step back, throw no punches. Mind your head as close to that, and most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Shake that.
Well, for Jay Pittman, He's brought plenty of fans with him, but this is his first fight outside of Gloucestershire and Wiltshire. They've travelled to see him on the road, a chance to make a statement in the capital, and we're underway. Munoz from Argentina, as you said, Spencer, will come to fight. It'll be durable, it'll be hard, but the kid has got class.
Yep, he certainly has. Pittman was an excellent amateur. Now into the professional ranks, done nothing wrong so far. 5-0. Will be looking to get that first KO. He's taking the centre of the ring nicely here, controlling the space well, stabs out the jab. Good start from him, but he can't take any liberties with Monzo. Don't read into the record too much. These kids are tough, and if they get the opportunity, they'll go for the victory. So you have to be smart with these guys.
He's trying to find his range, Pittman, in the early exchanges. We've already seen one man tonight in Jamie Barrett get his first stoppage of the pro career. So Jay Pittman would have been watching that in the wings and thinking he can do similar.
Yep, started well, Pittman. He's just got to be careful. He doesn't go back in straight lines off those shots. He needs to break that line when going back. Because as I said, Monzo is that type of guy that will see the opportunity, he will take it. You can see he's quite capable, better than his record would suggest. That was unlucky there from Pittman, so sized it up well. Monzo read it well.
Yeah, Munoz has lost his last 8 straight. We said about the kid being on the road. This is the first time that Munoz has fought outside of South America. The only other time he did, he lost when in Uruguay, so he doesn't travel too well. But these Argentinians are tough, and this will still be a real test for Jay Pittman, who's got to avoid getting any kind of frustration in this opening round.
Yep, he has. He's teeing up, looking for that big right hand. You can see that. He's brought a brilliant crowd here this evening. We just heard that as he was cheered in, but he just needs to step in more with that right hand. He's teeing up the jab nicely, just falling short with the jab. Therefore, he needs to step in with that front foot to close that range.
Just telegraphing that big right hand a bit, hasn't he? But he landed that time, but then he got countered, and there's the danger. Munoz does have a couple of KO victories on his record, but only the 4 wins.
As I said, Munoz, though, he is that guy that is capable. He knows his way around the ring for sure. He's holding himself quite well. Pittman doing the better of the work, taking centre of the ring, controlling things behind that jab. Falling a little short with that right hand, just needs to find the range on that, but it's been a good start here from Pittman.
Yeah, all about getting that range. The one time he did land with it, he caught one on the counter. Solid enough opening round, but the Argentinian looks as though he's going to prove elusive in this one.
Yep, as expected. Munoz is that guy. Looked quite comfortable going back to the corner, taking the instructions there, we can see. Looks nice and calm. Quite happy with that himself, although he didn't win that first round. He seems happy enough with that one. For Jay Pittman, I'm sure the instructions will be start stepping in a little bit more with that right hand, son. Don't hold your feet. You're working well off the jab. Let's see a little variety now as well. Don't be too one-dimensional, too predictable. But a good start there from Pittman. The nerves will have gone now. They're into the fight.
Jay Pittman has won every round of his pro career. I don't think he would have been in much danger of losing that last one either, but now the question, can he step on it? And if he can find the range for that big right hand, it could cause Munoz some problems.
Yep, just needs to step in with that shot a little more. As I say, Pittman is a stylist. You can see that. Works well, boxing IQ's good. He's trying to be creative here. He's trying to set some traps, trying to find an opening. He has to be careful that he doesn't get too greedy in doing that, because Munoz is that guy that's trying to draw him in. You see him sitting on the ropes there. Little shake of the head.
Took a left hook to the body there. I wonder if the shake of the head, always a sign that he may have been hurt by that shot.
Yeah. Oh, big right hand through the middle there. Munoz holding his feet a little more.
You were saying about Pittman moving in straight lines in that first round. Now he's starting a little bit more lateral, starting to get his groove.
That's exactly right, guys. That's what he needs to do. He needs to come off that line, try and be creative, find those openings.
Nice right hook to the body as well there from Pittman. A good scoring shot. Been a bit more clinical in this round. He's starting to find that range.
Yep, he is. I'd just like to see him now relaxing and putting the shots together now. Let the punches go in bunches. Let's see him flowing a little bit, because Munoz, as I said, they're tough from South America. These guys are tough to break, tough to crack, so you have to systematically break them down, chip away. Combination punching is key for that. Pittman, we know, is not a big one-punch knockout artist. We can tell that by his record, and we've seen that in the past, but he's a great stylist. And you think the longer rounds would suit him more. He's in 6 3-minute rounds here, so he's got a chance to chip away. Just misses with a right hand again there.
You can really tell that amateur schooling. He's stalking down his opponent, snapping away with that jab and trying to load up that big right. I think he fancies that he can end his man. Again there, that jab right on the money.
Yep, the crowd really like that one. Excellent with the jab, just controlling that space again. You saw him throw the jab, he come out of range, but was still in range to throw shots himself. This is good work, lovely. I would like to see him doubling up on that now. You land one, let the other one go as well. You can follow through with the right hand there. That's maybe the problem at the moment for Pittman. He's throwing a single jab and looking for that right hand. Double up on it, you'll find yourself in range for that right hand.
Munoz just offering something back there. Good from Pittman, starting to welcome the Argentinian on and try and counter him. Pretty much controlled the round, and I think he enjoyed it. Is there a danger with the vocal support he's got, though, that he wants to maybe impress too much and go for that big shot?
Well, Gaz, we talked about that in the first fight there, didn't we, with Jamie Barrett? I said, you know, it's easy to get carried away with the moment. You're on the big stage, you're boxing on this own, you're a young kid, this is what your dreams have all been about, and you're here at the Copper Box, big crowds, big event, and it is easy to run away with that, easy to get caught in the lights and the atmosphere. Barrett didn't do that, and maybe Pittman was guilty of that in the opening round, trying to a little bit tense, single shots, looking for that big knockout, but now he recognises that Monzo is that guy who's very, very tough, very stubborn. It's going to be difficult to break. Relax and do what you do best, what you do in the gym. Let your punches flow, control the space, and just chip away. And I think that's what we'll see here from Jay Pittman as we go into this third round.
Can't be underestimated, the step up that he takes tonight in this arena, made famous by the Olympics, of course, in 2012, and no disrespect to the venues of Gloucestershire and Wiltshire, but this will be on another level for him.
Absolutely. This is the apprenticeship. This is what it's all about. This is what these kids dream of, boxing on this stage, in these arenas.
Right hand catching a bit more glove than target there. When you were doing the early rounds, Spencer, how much did you want to come out and make a statement early in your career, really get people talking about you?
Well, that's what it's all about. It's about stealing the show. You know, we've got some real 50-50 fights here on the undercard, and the main event as well is a really exciting contest. So it's all about stealing the show, so that, you know, the 6,000 strong crowd that come in here and watch the fight, they'll leave and they'll be talking about you, and that's what you want to do, and that's where you can be guilty of over-trying sometimes.
Pittman having no problem landing that jab consistently. And a few times in this round already, Munoz has given him the nod back to say, yeah, you're starting to find me a little bit here.
Yeah, less coming back from Munoz now, isn't there? He's covering up, throwing the single shot, but Pittman's got full control of this one now.
Some of the work a little bit more laboured from Munoz, and just noticing that Pittman's just throwing the feint a little bit more now as well, giving the Argentinian some more to think about.
We see Munoz there reaching out with that southpaw lead there as Pittman's fainting. Well, Pittman should faint and whip the left hook through, and that shot would be there for him. That was the shot he just tried there.
That big right hand shot grazing the chest. He's been a whisker away a couple of times in this contest so far. The kid from landing a really big, meaningful shot. His supporters starting to sense that he's going through the gears.
That was better, the left hook, and that's the shot that's there now. Munoz is guilty of just pouring that right hand forward when Pittman's been fainting. So the shot is there, the left hook is there, and you can follow through. The right hand then will be in range. That's where he needs to throw the right hand off that left hook. The left hook goes short, but the right hand would come in.
Starting to try and use the full repertoire now, Pittman. He already looks like such a tough man to put away, though, Munoz.
Oh, Gaz, honestly, mate, these guys are teak tough. You don't read into the record. You can get guilty of falling into the trap by reading into the record, because these kids are on the road. Have gum shield, will travel, will fight. Doesn't matter whose backyard you're in. And he's proving that, Munoz, tonight, because he's in Jay Pittman's backyard. And he's conducting himself quite well, holding himself well. Pittman winning all the rounds and winning them quite comfortably. But I would like to see Pittman now starting to go through the gears a little bit more. We saw a little bit more of that in the last round, but I'd like to see him now with a bit more variety, doubling up on that jab, stepping in with the right hand, and bring that left hook into play as well.
Well, Munoz, as we say, spent a lot of time on the road. We might see him a little bit more on these shores. He's now based in Massachusetts in the US. I think there are plans to have him on quite a few more of these Nielsen MF Pro cards. And it could be that a few UK fighters that are coming up through the ranks might come across Enzo Munoz. It's Jay Pittman's chance tonight. He's got a couple of more rounds to try and put this man away. Halfway through this bout, I think you've got him well ahead on the cards.
Yeah, I've got him 3 rounds gone, 3 rounds up at the moment, but Munoz is that guy that is great for developing these young fighters, the champions of tomorrow. You know, this is the apprenticeship stage, and there you go. Pittman stepping in with the right hand. That was the first clean shot that we've seen there. Just better with the space control, Pittman there. He left the jab and stepped in with that right hand, and that's what we need to see more of.
Yeah, it's about finding that range. He's found it with the jab. If he gets that right hand into play a bit more often, Munoz is really going to struggle. But he's asserted his dominance already in this 4th round. That big shot right off the bat. It's impressive he hasn't got carried away with that, though. He's staying within himself, staying disciplined.
Oh, absolutely, and I mean, that is very impressive. He's brought a big crowd here, as you can hear this evening, and it is easy to get caught up on that, as we've said before, but he's keeping his composure nicely, not taking any unnecessary risks. Munoz can be dangerous on the counter. He's waiting for that, Munoz, as he sits on the ropes. You saw him just waiting for Pittman to get too greedy, sit in the pocket too long, and Munoz will try and make him pay, but Pittman not taking the bait. Boxing very smart here for a young fighter.
He's offering up the body a couple of times, Munoz, and Pittman's found the target a couple of times with those body shots. Would you like to see him throw a couple more of those, especially on the rope?
Absolutely. You know, look, what we know about Munoz already and what we've seen of him in the past is he's teak tough. All these kids are. They'll take the shots all night to the head, but the body is the weakness. The body's the one that you target. Try and bring the hands down before you're shooting to the head again. So it's always about using your imagination, using the variety of shot selection to create the openings, but so far so good for Pittman, who's done nothing wrong.
Is it that variety is what he needs to bring about that first stoppage? It may be why there isn't a stoppage so far on his record.
And that's it, Gaz. That's the breakthrough, I think. I think we've seen everything. Look, the foundations are perfect. You know, he's controlling the space well. The boxing IQ's great. The one thing, if I was going to be critical with Pittman, is I'd like to see you putting the combinations together a bit more, setting the traps. You've got that. You have that ability. We can see that. But the problem that he's got is he's looking for that showreel knockout because he's loading up with that right hand, loading up with a single shot. When you fall short with that right hand, come back with a left hook. Come back with a right hand again. Be creative, build on it.
Final 10 seconds of the fourth round. Another round in which Jay Pittman has dominated. But can he produce the big finish, which you can tell he is absolutely desperate for?
Yep, that's exactly what it is. He's looking for that finish. 5-0 so far, done nothing wrong. Hasn't lost a round in the tee. He's not lost a round here either. So, if my mathematics is right, I've got this 26 rounds gone in his pro boxing career and 26 rounds won. So doing nothing wrong. We're not being critical of Jay Pittman here. We're just saying what he can do to advance, to improve. There's slight adjustments that he can make. It can make a huge difference in it because he's not a big one-punch knockout artist. There's other ways of skinning a cat. There's other ways of doing the job. And for me, looking at Pittman, I think just put your shots together, son, but use that variety. Use what you do in the gym. And it will all come together, all come to fruition.
Jay Pittman has been on the scene for a while. He first came to prominence as an 8-year-old when he was fast sparring on Box Nation at an open workout, and he caught the eye.
Yep, it's in the DNA, wasn't it? It was always going to happen. And here he is. And like I say, this is the dream for these young fighters, boxing on these big cards, coming off those small hall shows, getting the opportunity. And it's what you do with that opportunity. And so far, Jay Pittman has done nothing wrong. He's controlled this one against a very tough, stubborn Argentinian. He's looked good in doing it. There we see the little feint. You're drawing the lead there, and then be creative off that.
Started to do that in the last round, but didn't really continue with it. And there were a couple of times when Munoz really fell for it as well. And Munoz, you can see, is tiring a little bit. The shots are a little bit more laboured, and he's in retreat.
Yep, it's like Munoz has sort of accepted defeat. He'll take the opportunity, obviously, if he sees it. If Pittman switches off, gets too greedy. But I think he recognises he's not going to win this one,
big
Munoz.
Right hand there, that really landed. I think the way Munoz sprung out, you could tell he'd hurt him. Gets a bit greedy with that one, maybe.
Yep, just loading up. He's just trying to find that shot that's going to give him that breakthrough, isn't he?
Trying to do, though, like you said, and put them together in bunches, not admire that one big shot.
That's what you need to do as a young fighter, put them in bunches, go through the phases, phase 1, phase 2. And what I mean by that is let your shots go, create a little bit of space, then come back again. That's when the opponent drops his hand, especially someone as stubborn as Munoz, because he's a tough kid to break, a tough nut to crack.
No problem with the jab finding the target. He got through with another left hand to the body, went on the ropes, but hasn't gone back to the body as much as perhaps we would have liked. I think it's always easier to see up close at ringside the damage those shots are doing. They're not the ones that are going to get the back rows excited. And Pittman is feeding off the crowd as well.
Yep, there's the opportunity for Pittman here. That's where I'd like to see him now. Swivel around the side. And that will create the openings for the body shots. That's for sure. Don't just stand in front of him, because Munoz is that guy that was trying to draw him in there. He was trying to feed him a little bit of bait. Pittman didn't take that, but that's where I'd like to see him coming off the line, going around the side.
And Munoz, in typical South American fashion, the more he gets hit, the more he fancies a war here. Took that left hook as he walked in, and I think it's every time he takes a decent shot, that's when he gets more aggressive.
Yep, I think that's the DNA of the South American fighters. You can hit them with some good shots and they sort of grow into it, and Munoz seems to be growing into this one. He's not done enough to win the round, but we saw a sense of urgency there from Munoz. Some sort of urgency to say, all right, let me have my little go now. Let me test you, test your character. Pittman dealt with that well. Another round in the bank for me. For Jay Pittman, who's controlled things nicely right from this opening bell against this very stubborn Argentinian, Enzo Munoz.
Family affair for Pittman. He's got his father, John Pittman, who is I say regenerated boxing in Gloucester. I'm not sure how much of a boxing history Gloucester has, but this man is trying to put that area of England on the map.
Well, one thing we know, when you get a fighter coming from an area like Gloucester, they do love it and they like to support them as well, and I think we can see that way. Who's turned out here tonight at the Copper Box?
Well, once again, Jay Pittman looks like he's going to have to do it over the distance, but he's got 3 minutes to put the Argentinian away. He's well up, I suppose nothing silly. All these rounds will add to the experience, but he would love the stoppage on his record.
Of course he would. That's what every young fighter wants. They want those knockouts, and you feel that Jay Pittman will get those as the rounds increase. He moves into the 8-round, 10-round, 12-round fights. But right now, when you're looking for your first knockout, sometimes you can be guilty of looking too hard. I'm not sure he's done that tonight, Pittman, who's controlled everything right from the opening bell, but unfortunately for him, he's got a very stubborn opponent in front of him.
He's gone very defensive in this final round, Munoz. I think he's decided he's going to get through this one. And from his point of view, make sure that he's welcome back on a few more of these cards, because of the guys at MF Pro and Nilsson know he's going to give their men a test. He'll be back sooner rather than later.
Yep, he certainly will. Munoz will be, probably you would see him in the ring somewhere on the globe in the next week or so, because that's what these kids do. They choose to box life on the road, box life as the journeyman, as the opponent, as we like to say. And so the moral victory for Munoz will be to survive, get through the fight, and be able to fight again next week. That's how they earn their money. Good jab there, though, from Jay Pittman. That was a lovely little breakthrough. Just missed the whiskers there of the uppercut as well.
Just trying to mix up and find a way. That right hand just grazing the chin of Munoz. He was fortunate on the back foot there. Took a big left hand into the rib cage as well.
Yep, the body shot you was talking about there, Gaz, and he must have heard you, mate, because he started switching those attacks downstairs, and that's where he's now getting the success.
Yeah, that left then followed with a big right hand upstairs. It was lovely work in that corner from Pittman. Now he's got Munoz in a position where I think he's glancing at his corner and wanting these last 50 seconds to tick by as quick as possible.
Pittman in complete control here in this 6th and final round. Body shot goes in as well. Nod of appreciation there for Munoz. Not sure he liked that one too much.
Big right hand to the body again from Pittman, who is softening up Munoz. The Argentinian looking to survive the final few seconds. Just missing again with that right uppercut, Pittman. I think he's got all the shots in the locker. Hasn't been able to find the target with all of them tonight. But 6 dominant rounds. Munoz with a smile as he tries to unload in the final few seconds and go out on his sword. Well, Munoz delighted with his work, but for me, and I think you, Spence, Jay Pittman just a class above over the 6 rounds.
Yeah, what an explosive last 15 seconds or so we had there. Both guys trading. Munoz deciding to roll the dice for the first time in the contest there. Excitement. Pittman didn't want to give up any ground, stood there, traded for him, blow for blow. Excellent little contest there. Pittman, for me, winning all 6 rounds, but very entertaining. It takes a good dance partner to make a good contest, and we got that in Munoz, sorry. Excellent little contest in the super featherweight division.
Well, let's make it official then. Here's Huss with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Kieran McCann scores the bout 60-54. And your winner, still undefeated, Jay the Kid Pittman.
Jay Pittman moves to 6-0. It doesn't quite make up for the disappointment of Wednesday night, but England do get one over Argentina here. So Jay Pittman, our second winner of the night. Will this man be a winner later tonight? We've got Diego Pacheco against Emmanuel Alim coming up on the zone later. This, Spencer, some of Diego Pacheco's best moments. Glad to see him back tonight.
Yeah, excellent fighter, Diego Pacheco. And we get to see him back in the ring tonight. Done nothing wrong so far as a professional. Can he continue that unbeaten run? We're going to find out later.
Yeah, Emmanuel Alim stands in his way. The WBC Silver and WBO International Super Middleweight titles are on the line. And that one is on air, I think, and literally as we finish here with Eubank Papot. So keep it with the zone all night long, the home of boxing. Well, we are ready for our third fight of these prelims, so to get them in the ring, it's back to us.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for our next bout of the evening, scheduled 6 3-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Please welcome to the ring, Cesar Ignacio Paredes.
Well, Cesar Paredes, the southpaw out of Peru, 1837-1. He's been around a bit, 342 rounds boxed. He'll give J.P. O'Meara everything he can handle tonight.
Yep, Paredes is a tough guy. We've seen him on these shores before. Lost to good fighters like Sonny Hardy, Royston Barney-Smith, amongst others. But I tell you something, this kid is as tough as they come, brings a wealth of experience. And this is a good test for J.P. O'Meara at this stage of his career.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, J.P. O'Meara.
John Patrick O'Meara, better known as J.P. O'Meara, comes in here 7-0, a real prospect, a local lad as well, a West Ham fan, just a couple of miles, well not even a couple of miles, a stone's throw from their very home, the London Stadium, and he will be as excited as they come to get the job done tonight.
Oh yes he will. Brought a great crowd with him here this evening as well. Big opportunity. Got his first stoppage win last time out against a very tough Argentinian. Can he continue that now against this tough guy from Peru?
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the featherweight division. This bout is brought to you by MF Pro, Nielsen Boxing, and The Zone, and proudly sponsored by Rainbet, Killer Pablo, and Cole. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Ben Harmsworth and Des Roots. Your timekeeper at the bell, John Smith. And the third person in charge of the action in the ring, referee Amy Koo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the gray trunks. His official weight of 127.9 pounds. He is a veteran of 56 professional fights. Hailing from Peru, introducing Cesar Ignacio Paredes. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black trunks. His official weight of 129.5 pounds. He's currently undefeated with 7 wins, and one of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Ealing, London, England, United Kingdom, introducing J.P.
he's another prospect with plenty of promise, JP O'Meara. He was once on the books of our own Darren Barker, managed by him and Joe Calzaghe. They said he's one to watch. Spencer, I think you're very much in the same camp.
Oh, absolutely. JP O'Meara, only stone throw away from his hometown. Big West Ham fan. Is an exceptional talent. Good amateur. Seen him progress through the professional ranks as well. Headlined last time out. Now he finds himself on this big platform, in this big arena. And I'm sure he'll put in a brilliant performance. Started this one well, hasn't he?
Nice left hook to the body there. But another tough South American standing in a young Brit's way. It's been the theme of the evening so far. As you said, Paredes has taken a few decent names on recently. He's been fighting over here for a couple of years. Royston Barney-Smith, Charlie Senior, Josh Holmes, Steve Cairns, Adam Macker amongst his recent opponents. So he's no mug. And if JP O'Meara can put him away, he joins that kind of list.
Yep, he certainly does. But Paredes has been the distance for those guys. As I said, he's very, very tough. Travels well. Nice left hook there. Sorry, right hook there from O'Meara.
Lovely right hook right on the temple, but you can tell he can take some damage. Any man who has a tattooed temple, you know they mean business.
certainly do. This guy is as tough as they come. But this is a sharp start here from O'Meara. Boxing out that southpaw stance, controlling the ring well, taking the centre. Paredes is defensive in this opening round, hands held high. He noses him with a good fighter in O'Meara, whose record does not really tell the true story about how hard this kid hits. He's only had that one knockout victory, that was last time out, but he's got a bit of spite in his punches, O'Meara, and I think we're seeing that here in this opening round.
Another really stinging left hook to the body. You could tell it was a good shot because his fan base have broken into a chorus of forever blowing bubbles. He's enjoying this first round, JP. Both men fighting out of the southpaw stance. Will that prove to be tricky for O'Meara? Something else to think about?
Well, yeah, it can always be an awkward clash of styles when you have two southpaws boxing each other, but O'Meara seems to have taken control of this opening round well. He's found the range with that southpaw right jab, and he got through with a couple of good body shots as well. Paredes walks slowly back to his corner.
I wonder if a couple of those body shots have already been really felt by the Peruvian. He took in a lot of air there.
Yeah, he did. He's just taking in all the advice he can there, Paredes. He was quite defensive in that opening round, and he's asked for a lot of water there, drinking a lot of water in after only one round, but it was a good round from JP O'Meara, who dominated, controlled the space well, worked well behind that southpaw jab. As you said, Gaz, whipped in those body shots as well. Did that have a little telling factor? Well, we'll find out here at the beginning of round number 2, because I'm sure O'Meara will switch his attacks back downstairs.
O'Meara, who's starting to find himself in the pro ranks. He scored his first pro stoppage last time out against Manuel Perez, so starting to settle into things, and he certainly settled early on here. Paredes trying to cover up, but he leaves that body open to attack, and O'Meara has already found that on a couple of occasions.
Yep. You can see O'Meara there feinting, trying to find an opening, trying to be creative, trying to set the trap, and I think he's heard you there, Gaz, because he switched those attacks downstairs again. You can see the rib cage is exposed.
You said Paredes' record is a little bit misleading, and indeed his early career was fantastic. 15 wins, 14 of those by stoppage, 14 of his first 15 wins. Few stoppages in there. It's been harder going since. I think it's going to be hard going for him tonight as well. He's eaten some big shots already here as O'Meara starts to go through the repertoire.
Paredes letting a big left hand of his own go there. A little warning sign just to say, look, son, don't take any liberties. I'm still very much in this one. As you said, Paredes started his career as a prospect, and a good one as well. Has since slipped into life more as a journeyman, really, a guy that's been on the road. He always conducts himself well. He's very, very capable. And for prospects like JP O'Meara, you can't take any liberties, you can't get too greedy. You just got to control things and wait for that opportunity. And that opportunity could come by the way of the body shots, if he can find them underneath those elbows, underneath that elbow of Paredes.
Just trying to stab that jab into the body of Paredes, which is opening up the target up there. Hasn't been able to quite back it up with anything yet, though, O'Meara, but you can see how the cogs are starting to turn. He's working this man out.
And that's exactly what he's doing, Gaz. He's working him out. He's not doing anything stupid. He's showing Paredes the respect that he deserves, because the records can be deceiving, and Paredes, we know, is more than capable. And O'Meara just taking his time, chipping away slowly, systematically, looking for a breakthrough.
Paredes always starting to look a little bit dishevelled in there. The trunks have dropped, but O'Meara needs those hands to drop a little bit more as well. He's got to make that happen, though. Great left hand over the top from Paredes. Or should I say from O'Meara. Paredes lucky that he was leaning back, didn't catch the full force of that one.
Good work again there from O'Meara. Headshot, lovely little uppercut on the inside as well. Short left uppercut. Good shot. And a good round there from JP O'Meara again. Paredes himself tried to change things around a little bit there, Gaz. He tried to come forward on the front foot, tried to take the initiative a little bit, but JP O'Meara then put himself back in control.
A lot of the reason for Paredes' recent struggles, he's had to go up and down in weight consistently, and I suppose that's the problem when you're the opposition. You're having to be the newfound kind of opposition for these new fighters. You're having to fight at the weight that their promoters and their managers need you to be at.
And that's exactly what it is, life on the road. You know, life as a journeyman fighter. He started off as a very dangerous prospect and probably found an easier way to earn money was on the road, fighting as the opponent. So they're very, very capable and probably better than what they actually show you. They do just enough to whether to survive or whatever, but if they ever fancy it, you know you're in for a tough night. And JP O'Meara recognises that, and that's why I think he's showing him the respect that Paredes deserves, because he's a good fighter.
I suppose the dangerous thing there is you never know which weight they're most comfortable at, so they could come in exactly where they want to be, and that's where a shot can happen. Lovely work. The jab there of O'Meara snapping the head of Paredes back, and there was a little smile there from the West Ham man.
Yep, he'll be very pleased with himself after those first couple of rounds. He's done nothing wrong so far. O'Meara kept his composure well, stayed switched on, which is important. Hands held high, shot selection very good as well. We're seeing a little bit of everything. Good right hand went in there. Oh, sorry, left hand went in there.
Paredes just turning his back in retreat there. A couple of these body shots are causing some real damage, and you wonder later on in the fight, that's where those will pay dividends. And again, he's found a home for that left hook to the body.
Yeah, he has. That's when you know a fighter's got a good boxing IQ, because he's recognised those elbows of Paredes are just out. The body is exposed, and he's trying to take advantage of that, O'Meara, but doing it in a sensible way. As I say, when you throw the body shot, you can be guilty of staying there and getting a bit too greedy. Good right, left hand, sorry, over the top there.
Yeah,
you see a little stumble of the legs there of Paredes.
There were two left hooks in quick succession, catching Paredes upstairs.
As I was saying, you can get a little greedy when the body's exposed, and you can sit there a little too long. Paredes is one of those guys that likes to work in short up close, but JP has done everything right so far, kept it at range, letting the body shot go and then just getting back to that position, back to that baseline, if you like.
He's not wasted much, O'Meara, has he? Everything done with a thoughtful, meaningful process. And I suppose that's exactly how it has to be at this stage of your fledgling career.
Of course. This is the apprenticeship, this is the development stage, this is for the bigger, better nights. O'Meara will be hoping to come back here one night, topping the bill. He done it last time out at the York Hall Bethnal Green, and his dreams and aspirations will be to top venues like this. And you have to perform, you have to deliver.
Yeah, this a chance to get that viral clip that goes around and really puts you on the map. O'Meara flicking that jab. He's dropped his hands. I think he feels really comfortable in there, but as you've mentioned a couple of times, he can't take anything for granted as he just stumbles Paredes there.
Yeah, lovely shot there from O'Meara. He's changed his style somewhat. Instead of going on the front foot now, he's letting Paredes come on to him, and that's where Paredes is making the mistakes. He's in the pocket and he's getting caught. This is a good switch, good change of tactics here from O'Meara, who finishes with a lovely body shot on the bell as well.
Really clever round from O'Meara, that, as you said. And as soon as Paredes went on the attack, he paid the price.
Yeah, and that's what you'll expect now from O'Meara and his corner. They'll be saying to him, right, son, listen, sit back, let Paredes come on to you, because that's when he makes those fundamental mistakes. You know, that's when he's sitting on the line, not coming off the line, sitting in the pocket. And that's where he can be caught, and that's where his vulnerabilities are. So that was a good change of tactics there from JP. Now he has to build on that. And let's see if he can do that going into the second half of this contest.
Well, Paredes may have lost his last 24, I make it, but he's only been stopped once in that time. So it will be a statement if JP O'Meara can put this man away. There were signs in that last round that he's got the ability to. He's got 3 rounds to work him out.
There you see Paredes, when he throws his shots, he sits on that line there. He doesn't do anything off the back of that. That's where JP needs to just take that half a step back and drill the shots through the middle, and that's where he'll find the openings.
Real steely focus to O'Meara as he lands a couple more scoring shots. Paredes starting to really struggle now with his defences and getting out-muscled a bit as well by O'Meara.
Paredes there complaining to the ref as well. That's never a good sign. O'Meara just seems to be going through the gears a little bit here. Paredes maybe just starting to unravel a little bit.
Again, a left hand to the body, but as O'Meara tries to go upstairs, he found nothing but glove. Again, the home support whipped up. Already quite a few in for the prelims. Looking ahead to Harlem Eubank against David Papot later on DAZN. The main card, a reminder, starting at 7 p.m.
Yep, and what a main card we have there. Real 50-50 fights through the card. And we've got these on the prelims as well. As you're seeing here, good test for JP O'Meara. Great young prospect coming through against the tough, stubborn Cesar Paredes, who we've seen on these shores before, never been stopped. Can O'Meara do something that the other British fighters have not been capable of doing so far? Done nothing wrong in those opening 3 rounds, winning all of those, and he's boxing well here in the 4th, Gaz, isn't he?
Certainly is, and just trying to open up a little bit in the final minute of it. Paredes hasn't given him too much in this round, but as it comes to its final third, he's starting to look a little bit leggy, the Peruvian, as he eats another left upstairs. Paredes trying to show that there's something still left in his tank, but as he does, it just leaves the target open for O'Meara.
Yeah, big left hand through the middle again there from O'Meara. He's kept his shape very well through these first 4 rounds. Dominated this round as well. Now choosing to box on the back foot, which is the better move for O'Meara for me, because Paredes is making little fundamental mistakes as he's coming forward. Lovely work again from O'Meara.
Just stumbled him back there and then goes on the all-out attack, Paredes. I think that hurt him as well.
Yeah, Paredes, proud man, trying to come back with something towards the end of that final 10 seconds or so of the 4th round. Landed a nice little shot on the bell there, but that wasn't enough. O'Meara really dominating that 4th round, controlling the space so well, working everything well behind that southpaw jab, still whipping in those body shots, both sides of the body. But Paredes, to his credit, has kept his shape, kept his composure, still very much in there, but O'Meara at the moment is a whitewash for me, winning everything on the scorecards.
Definitely looked as though O'Meara wanted to go a little bit more on the back foot in this round, hoping that Paredes would come on. He didn't quite take the bait until the final minute or so. Into the 5th round then, scheduled for 6 in this featherweight contest. So far, JP O'Meara ahead on the cards, but Cesar Paredes is going to be a tough man to put away.
Yep, I have to agree with that. Paredes, in a number of occasions we've seen him on UK shores before, has never shown any vulnerability. He's as tough as they come, and he's fallen into the trap of becoming that journeyman, the guy, the road warrior, if you like. But he still comes and he still tries to win. He's a tough, tough guy. O'Meara boxing very well at the moment. Controlling everything behind that southpaw jab. Picking the shots well. It's been a good performance so far.
And he will join a decent list of names that Paredes has been in with. The best of the young British crop coming through. And that was the test for O'Meara tonight, as Paredes scores there with a good-looking left hand.
Yeah, and followed up by another one as well. Little lapse in concentration from O'Meara here. Needs to regroup, get himself back together. Don't try and chase those shots, by the way. That's gone, that's history. That's the worst mistake a fighter, a young fighter can make. Gets caught by a couple of shots and then tries to chase the shot.
Yeah, against the odds. Paredes having his best round here. He's taking some punishment himself, but I think he's decided, let's go for it here.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. He's having a good round here, Paredes. And he senses that. That's what I say. You give these guys a little glimmer of hope, and they'll try and seize and take that opportunity. And he's going for it here, Paredes. And O'Meara having to show a lot of character in there.
He's been really aggressive in this round, Paredes, which we thought would play into O'Meara's hands, but as you say, I think a little bit frustrated by a couple of those mistakes he's made early in this round. And Paredes showed early on in his career he is more than capable. Shields up well on that left, but then takes the right hand to the body. And O'Meara getting back to what he was doing better earlier in the fight.
Yep, that's exactly what he needed to do. But look at the response from Paredes. He's coming back and he's making things tough in there this round for O'Meara.
He's thrown caution to the wind here, the Peruvian. And is having some joy in this round. Not sure if he's shown enough to maybe nick this round, but it's certainly going to be close. And as he did in the last round, he's ending this one strongly.
Sorry, guys, here he is. He's ending it very, very strongly and may have done enough to nick that round. He was certainly having his successes, wasn't he? For the first time in the contest, we saw O'Meara lose a bit of composure. And he'll be guilty of trying to chase something there. He got caught with a few shots and forgot his boxing, tried to get those shots back with Paredes, and paid the price for that, and Paredes, for me, maybe just stealing the round. He's just done enough.
Yeah, no doubt about it. His best round so far. Probably the most the Peruvians enjoyed themselves in the East End since Paddington Bear.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good round from Paredes. And now O'Meara's going to have to show a bit of character. We're going to see what he's all about, because Cesar Paredes, I'm sure, will go for it in his sixth and final round. And listen to the West Ham support O'Meara's got in here tonight. And they are all trying to cheer him through this last round. It's been an excellent contest so far.
Yeah, sixth and final round, and I think the O'Meara fans have decided he needs a little bit of support, because once again in this round, Paredes has come out firing here. And this has turned into a bit of a war in the last round. Great left hand from O'Meara, just rocked him. Couldn't quite follow it up. Paredes hanging on for his life.
What an excellent little contest this one's turned into. Paredes has decided he wants to go for it, roll the dice, and take the fight to O'Meara, and he's having some success. Big left hand through the middle again there from Paredes.
Really good shot from Paredes. Well, for 4 rounds, this was a JP O'Meara masterclass, but Paredes now has come right out of his box in the last couple of rounds.
And he's asking questions of O'Meara here, who's starting to feel the pace. The mouth has come open, and he's digging deep here, O'Meara. Trust me on that one.
Well, this part of the steep learning curve to get through this 6th round. A reminder that Paredes, as I say, took the likes of Royston Barney-Smith, Charlie Senior, Adam Macker over the distance. So,
yep, the physicalities look to be leaving JP O'Meara now. This is becoming more a psychological battle, and he got caught with a big left hand again.
Paredes has worn right into this. He's taken a couple of shots himself, mind you, the Peruvian. It's not been one-way traffic. But O'Meara now, for the first time in the fight, on the back foot a little bit.
Oh, good shot there from
in
O'Meara.
That was better. Heads come close together. Paredes just having to avoid a barrage there. O'Meara's got to be careful, though. He's in danger of taking some as he comes in looking for his own big shot. Straight right scoring. Paredes hanging on again.
Yeah, become a real shootout here in this 6th and final round. Both guys feeling the pace, but both guys biting down on the gum shields. Look at the character here from JP O'Meara, who's answering the blows from Paredes, but Paredes trying to find something, trying to salvage something out of this contest, and he's giving it everything.
Left hand just landing there, but I think Paredes is running on absolute empty. Can O'Meara land the blow to put him away, though? Both men swinging for the fences. Final 15 seconds of what's been a slugfest final round as they go toe-to-toe on the ropes. Fantastic action in this, and this is just the prelims.
What a contest we've had here, and listen to the appreciation of the crowd as both guys go toe-to-toe. The bell goes, you can't even hear it. The atmosphere in here, absolutely electric. JP O'Meara will be glad that 6th and final bell has gone, because Paredes showed so much character and really rolled the dice in those final 2 rounds. Asked a few questions of JP O'Meara, and guess what? O'Meara answered them for sure.
I think O'Meara would have been glad he had those first 4 rounds in the bank, because those last 2 were a little bit uncomfortable. And that final round, I suppose he can enjoy that exchange because he was safe in the knowledge that he had those rounds in the bank. And Paredes didn't quite have the power to put him away, but no doubt about it, Cesar Paredes is going to be a man who's going to test a few fighters who are coming up, certainly in the British ranks and further.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, promoters will watch that and think, yes, please, we'll have Paredes back on our show again. What a fight.
Great war. Let's see who's got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Amy Boo scores the bout 58 to 56. And your winner, still undefeated, JP O'Meara.
JP O'Meara moves to 8-0. Didn't have it all his own way in that one, but certainly he's given his home crowd something to cheer. Another one in the bank for JP O'Meara, and he would have learned plenty from that, Spencer.
Absolutely. When you're moving into title contention, I'm sure O'Meara is going to do that. He's going to look back on this one with fond memories, or maybe not fond memories, but he would have learned a lot from this one. This is what it's all about. This is where you get the experience, gain the experience, the development, the apprenticeship, whatever you want to call it. O'Meara has certainly earned his money tonight, and it was a great little performance in front of a very busy crowd here at the Copper Box Arena, and he brought a tremendous crowd with him, Gaz, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. That crowd in fine voice, and looking forward to what else is to come tonight on this, DAZN, the home of boxing.
Saturday Fight Night, every week on DAZN.
Where every Saturday, the biggest fights,
the blockbuster shows,
are live only.
Only on DAZN.
On DAZN.
So join us ringside, because Saturday nights,
all right for fighting.
Saturday Fight Night, the home of boxing, every Saturday night on DAZN. We've got another one coming for you after we finish here with Harlem Eubank against David Papot, Diego Pacheco in action. And don't forget to check out the full schedule now. Fight after fight after fight. Right, it's time to get our next prelim in the ring. It's Finley James against Jake Henty, and here is Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for our next bout of the evening scheduled 10 3-minute rounds for the vacant Southern Area Welterweight Championship. Please welcome to the ring, Jake Henty.
Well, Jake Henty, 9-0, and still just 26. The southpaw fighting out of Welling, London, and comes here with a point to prove, and will give Finley James a real run for his money. This, as you were saying, Spence, the first of those real 50-50 fights.
Yep, somebody's O has got to go. Both guys 9 undefeated. Jake Henty had a good win over Alfie Winters. That was a very good performance. Great technical boxer. He's in for a tough fight here in a real 50-50.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Finley James.
Finley James, another man who will enjoy plenty of home support. Another West Ham fan. He calls himself the captain. Or can the skipper get himself a British Southern Area welterweight title tonight?
Yeah, what a contest. As I said, we've got here tonight. Finley James done nothing wrong so far. Still searching for his first KO victory. Can he get it tonight against the tough Jake Henty? Well, Finley James, what a corner he has there. Mark Tibbs in the corner, Jimmy Tibbs in the corner, wealth of experience. And he may need that experience tonight in a real 50-50 contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds for the vacant Southern Area Welterweight Championship. This bout is brought to you by MF Pro, Nielsen Boxing, and DAZN, and proudly sponsored by Oosh, Rainvent, Killer Pablo, and Cole. This bout is sanctioned by British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Ben Hartsworth, Des Reese, your inspectors ringside, Terry Martin, Alan Spelling, Chaz Copeland, Miko Wilshire, Harry McCauley, Lydia Molly, Sinead McCormick, and Lucinda Nichols. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the silver and green. His official weight of 146.5 pounds. He's currently undefeated with 9 wins, and 2 of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from Welling, London, England, United Kingdom, introducing Jake Henty. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the blue with white trim. His official weight of 146.2 pounds. He's currently undefeated with 9 wins. Hailing from Chadwell, Essex, England, United Kingdom, introducing Finlay James.
Okay, guys. Like your instructions in the dressing room, right? You know, I expect you to do both. Keep the fight clean, obey my commands, most importantly, lads. Protect yourself all the time, right? Shake that.
Well, Jake Henty, he's been out of the ring for some 14 months. This a real chance to reset his career. Hit against a man in the shape of Finlay James, who's a real throwback fighter. He looks like something out of the 50s, Spence. He's a throwback, but he's a man looking for a modern fairy tale here. A vacant title on the line, as I say. The first real 50-50 of the night.
Yep, real opportunity for both of these guys to showcase what they've got. A launch pad into bigger, better titles. But first, we've got the Southern Area vacant welterweight title on the line. It's a real 50-50, as you say, and really looking forward to this one. Finlay James, we know, is an excellent tactician, stylist. And Jake Henty, the southpaw, who's been out the ring for a while. Could ring rust play a part of that early on in this contest? We're going to find that out very, very shortly, but difficult fight to pick here on who wins this one.
You could tell Henty was just delighted to be back. He was in here very early. He was stalking out the ring, just looking on from afar. It is a real opportunity. I think he would have been delighted just to get back in, but the fact he's got the chance at this Southern Area title at the age of 26, still pretty much starting out his career, he can go again.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, a loss on a record for either one of these guys is not the end for sure. You know, some fighters, it's the moulding of a fighter, it's the making of a fighter, so no shame in losing for an area title at this stage of your career, but for the victor is how he goes on, puts himself into bigger, better title contention on a big platform, so huge opportunity here for both.
Henty trying to play the role of aggressor in the opening exchanges, but as you mentioned, Finlay James, a great tactician. He won't mind fighting on the back foot. He won't mind a bit of a chess match here.
No, he's an awkward fighter, James. Southpaw, rangy, leans back on that back foot, and for a fellow southpaw, that can be quite difficult to get through. We've seen a bit of this tonight, haven't we? Southpaw versus southpaw, and it's normally quite unusual. We've had a couple of these. Fortunately, the last two gelled very well. Will we get the same with these two?
Right hand there from Henty. That's real scoring shot of the fire, but Finlay James returns with one of his own.
You know, I like what Henty's doing there, though. He's throwing that left hand through the middle. Yes, he's falling short with it, but he's coming back with that right hook over the top, and that could be dangerous. Finlay James, he has to stay switched on with that. He's got to be careful he doesn't get caught. Coming in with his own shots. Neither guy really stamped their authority in this first one. Been a bit of a chess match. No one really found their range. A lot of respect between the two.
Real nip and tuck first round, and I think you've been finding most of these rounds so far tonight easy to score, but that would have been a tougher one.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was a very difficult round to separate the two. Neither guy really took the initiative. Both guys taking a look, showing a lot of respect, as you would expect. First title for both of these on the line. Southern Area welterweight title, that is, which is a great title. History. There's been some fantastic fighters over the years that have held this one. And as I said, is the real launch pad into big up, better titles, your English, your British, your Commonwealths, moving on to the Europeans, and that's where the dreams of both of these two will be. World honours, obviously the biggest prize in boxing, but first you've got to come through these tests.
As Sven said, the vacant British Southern Area welterweight title is on the line. Scheduled for 10, and this the second of them. Finley James, plenty of vocal support in this arena, but not too much to get carried away with in that first round. But I think Finley James will have to feel his way into this, because Jake Henty, despite not being in the ring for over a year, is no mug.
No, he's not. And he seems to be the aggressor here in this one. As I said, looks dangerous when he throws that left hand through the middle, but comes back very well with a right hook over the top, and that's a dangerous shot. James is going to have to stay switched on. He can't have a lapse in concentration. But there will be a breakthrough at some point with both of these guys. They know what's on the line here. And yes, right now it's a chess match, but expect it to catch fire at some point.
And managing the distance of the fight also in points. The first time that Finley James has been in a 10-rounder. It's Jake Henty's third over the 10-round distance. How difficult is that when you have to start fighting over the longer distance? You have to start reserving that energy, knowing what to unload with early on.
Well, do you know what it is, Gaz? It's that unknowing. So when you've not done it, if you're doing a 4-rounder, you're tired at the end of 4, 6, you're tired at the end of 6, 8, the end of 8. And when you do like a 6-rounder, to give you an example, you do a 6-rounder and you think, how am I going to make 12? You know, you've blown a gasket after 6, but it's the way that you condition the mind. Well, Jake Henty will have the advantage because he's been there a couple of times before. And obviously for Finley James, sorry. Obviously for Finley, it will be that unknowing. Hence why he's probably being a little reserved here at the beginning of this contest.
Couldn't wish for a better corner, though, with Mark Tibbs and the team in there. They've nurtured a few world champions down the years, not to mention domestic honours.
And that's where that self-belief for James will come from, having experienced like that in the corner, but a good right hook there from Henty. Best shot of the contest so far. James took it well.
Just bided his time there, Henty. Just looking for the mistake to be made by the captain. Interesting that a dyed-in-the-wall West Ham fan would wear the blue and white of Millwall, but it's another part of the old-school look, which is great about Finley James. No bling, nothing flash, the haircut's a throwback.
Yeah, stylistically very old school, isn't he? Wiry sort of shape, he controls his space well, light on his feet. Moving around the ring like a ballerina in there. Another very close round, and it's subjective scoring. What you like for me, it was the one clean shot that was landed from Jake Henty that may have just swayed it towards me again. He was the one that was holding centre of the ring and maybe being the aggressor. No real clean shots landing from the two. But Henty maybe just doing enough in those opening two to take the rounds. And for me, Finley James needs to take the ball by the horns a little bit, take the initiative, start doubling up with the shots. You've both had a look at each other now. There's a lot on the line here and a lot for the winner. So I get that respect, and I get that both guys are trying to draw that lead and draw that one into making that fundamental mistake. But for me, Henty just doing enough in those opening two rounds.
Yeah, not much in it over those two, but as you quite rightly said, it was Henty that landed the meaningful shot in each round. But I say shot, it was just that. There hasn't been a barrage of pressure from either man yet.
And that's exactly why I say subjective scoring, what you like, what you're looking for, what you're going for. Because I might have it 2 rounds to Henty, and it'd be quite possible that it could be Finley James that's 2 rounds up here. So The fight's still very much to be won and lost going into this third round, or the fight very much still to be taken control of going into this third round.
Neither man has really established the jab yet either, but they've been quick to get out of range.
James now up on his toes, trying to find something, trying to be creative. That was better from James. Carrying that lead right hand down by his side. It's quite difficult to read that, flicking it out well. Movement's good.
Yeah, that time he followed up the feint with that looping left over the top. Earlier on, Henty was able to counter on that. But those, the moves that both men are jostling with, trying to work the space, trying to work out what the other is thinking.
Yeah, the styles sort of cancelling each other out at the moment with these two. Both thinking fighters. They're trying to set that trap, create that opportunity, but none of them are falling for it.
Only James just trying to adjust that stance, trying to give Henty something else to work at. Henty trying to throw that steep jab to the body again.
Showing his light footwork there, James. Just trying to find something on the outside, moving around the perimeter of the ring. Henty just controlling the space well, but not really landing anything of any significance.
Plenty of posturing from both, but not quite ready to engage. Henty can't seem to find his range either at the moment.
As I say, clash of styles with these two. And there's no one that's really gone for it yet. They're both trying to get that breakthrough moment. Good double jab there from James, who's showing a lot of mobility, moving around.
I don't think we expected too much different to this in the opening exchanges. James, obviously, at that fledgling stage of his career. For Henty, it's that time of inactivity, so he's having to blow the cobwebs off in these first few rounds as well. Tries to throw that left hand on the belt. It's another really tight round, though.
Yep, another tight round for both of these guys. James, very fleet-footed in that one, moving like a ballerina, as I said, around from left to right. Flicked out a few jabs, and that might have been enough to steal the round, if I'm honest. A couple of good scoring shots there. Henty was doing well, holding the centre of the ring, but was not really being creative. Missed with a few shots, missed with a couple of left hand, backhand, left hands. And never really landed anything of significance. So James maybe clawing one back on my scorecard. 3 rounds gone. Neither guy really took control of this one yet.
Well, he's not a big hitter, Finley James. 9-0 and still awaiting that first stoppage. He's had to go every single round of his career so far, 52 in total. Henty has got a couple of KOs on his record, but has actually boxed an extra round. So there is the proverbial Rizzler paper between these two.
Yep. Henty, the more experienced of these two, really, when you look at the contests that he's been in. But for James, this really is the launch pad, the coming-of-age fight. Big test for both guys. Nice work there from James. Lead right hook, sorry. Flick the jab through as well.
Yeah, landed that nicely on the turn and brought a ripple of applause from those who have made the very short journey over to the copper box.
Yep, walking distance for most of these here tonight, which is always nice. Nice venue this, the copper box built well. The atmosphere is good in here tonight, and this is good work from James. In this 4th round, he's starting to find some form of rhythm. Henty has to be careful that he doesn't get frustrated, because he's holding centre of the ring, but just needs to step in with his shots a little bit more, being a little bit predictable at the moment, Henty.
Henty a little bit passive. He caught her left to the body, and James starting to turn him around and getting some joy with that movement.
Yeah, looks the more fluid of the two in there at the moment. James, little stumble there from Henty, nothing landed.
Is that the movement of Finley James that's making Henty stumble? He doesn't know which way he's going to go.
Yeah, he's just finding things difficult in there at the moment, Henty. He's being a little bit one-dimensional with the back left hand there, and that was a good shot. That will give him encouragement. Can he build on that now?
Well, that'll certainly slow the movement. There were moments there, I think Finley James was starting to feel himself a bit, was dancing round, and that shot from Henty just redressed the balance.
Yep, Henty just trying a cheeky little move there as well by stepping on the lead foot there. The lead right foot of James, just trying to get him to hold the ground. You see him doing that. That's an old trick there from Henty, who's just starting to get a bit closer in this round. Missed that left hand through the middle, but he is closing the gap. James needs to get back behind that jab. This is better work from Henty in this fourth.
Trying again with that stiff jab to the body, Henty. He wants James right in front of him, doesn't he? Doesn't want to allow him to dictate this movement.
Got to say, Gaz, another very close round here. James started it well. Henty's come back in the second half of it. It's what you're going for here. Nice couple of jabs on the bell there. Light on his feet again. James in a very difficult round to score. Mark Tibbs in the corner. Seems very happy with him.
He seems really happy there. There's a little bit of kidology as he just let him know, I'm really happy with that, even if Finley Jones may have been doubting himself a little bit there.
Well, that's a great call, Gaz, because Mark's got a lot of experience and he'll recognise, like me sitting here, I've been around a lifetime in this game, and when rounds are going very close like that, it's the slightest thing that will sway you. The judges will be similar to myself, similar to yourself. You go, I don't really know who's got this one. No one's got this really by the scruff of the neck, you know, and I think that it's very difficult to separate them. I've got this 2 rounds apiece going into this 5th round. It's, for me, all to be won, a 6-round fight, if you like, going into this. But who knows what way the judges are really going on this one. It's been one of those.
Well, the beauty is plenty more rounds to sort it out as we go into the 5th. The vacant British Southern Area welterweight title on the line. The first step on the ladder to those potential world honours later down the line. And, of course, the same division of which our main event tonight will be in when Harlem Eubank takes on David Papot.
Yeah, and them two are a lot closer than these two at the moment on those world title honours. And the winner could go on to box for a world title in the very near future. But back to this one, where it all starts, the grassroots, the development stage, and the first title levels, the Southern Area, an important title that is, a real launch pad. And these guys will be looking to search forward, and that was better from both guys.
The right hand of Henty certainly connected the cleaner. It's the first time his corner have got truly excited about something.
Yeah, you saw the spray of sweat there, didn't you? Under the lights. Henty's starting to sit down on his shots now, trying to load up with those a bit more. He's done well of controlling the centre of the ring here, Henty. James doing a good job of just staying out of range, but gets caught with a jab there.
Lovely jab from Henty, and you say he's starting to settle down. I suppose he now has got rid of that ring rust, out of the ring for over a year. But now he's got into this 5th round, starting to feel at home again.
Yep. Just needs to build on that success here. Landing the jab well. James, though, is a difficult target. He's moving from left to right all the time, keeping you thinking. It's been a very technical fight, this one, for the boxing purists, who will be appreciating what's going on in there. A real game of chess, one false move, checkmate. But at the moment, nothing between these two.
It is one of those fights that looks more like it's the first real mistake that's made is going to be the more crucial thing here. James just trying to beckon Henty in, but not quite taking the bait at the moment.
Well, James is doing a good job at controlling things and making Henty fall short, but not coming back with shots of his own. And he's only shuffling a couple of inches out, so he's only got to step back in to land shots of his own. And I'm thinking that's what's missing at the moment from James's performance. There, we saw a little shuffle back, come back with a double jab. You're in range. Let the shots go, because there's nothing between these two at the moment. And another razor-tight round there from both guys. And where do you go? Who do you go with? Maybe Henty just done enough, just pushing forward, landed a couple of good solid jabs, a more solid look around it. But I like what Finley James is doing, but for me, he's not completing the move, because I think he's doing all the work. He's forcing Henty into delivering the shot, but then he's making him miss and not making him pay. He's not coming back with anything, so there's a missing element to his game at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like both men are very happy with their work, making each other miss, but of course, at some stage, they've got to throw themselves. They've got to score with some shots.
That's exactly what it is. You make someone miss, what's the old saying? Make them miss, make them pay. And I think that's what's missing at the moment.
Yeah, these two proving themselves to be excellent defensive fighters and great at avoiding a shot. Can they start to land them, though, as Finley James just adjusts the hair, a little lick of Brill cream in there, and on we go again.
Yep, as we enter the second half of this contest, really close. Could be one round either way, could be 2 rounds either way. No one really taking complete control of this. Will we see that in the second half of the contest? The vacant southern area welterweight title on the line. Big opportunity for the winner of this, and a rebuild for the loser. So all to fight for in these final 5 rounds.
We've seen on a few recent cards, and particularly on the WBC Grand Prix on the zone, where open scoring was used, which sometimes brought fighters out of themselves when they knew at this stage, well, I've got to step it up. Is that something maybe you'd like to see creep more into the pro game?
Well, I'll tell you something, Gaz, it's something that I'd like to see right now, because I really haven't got a clue who's winning this one. It's been that tight, that razor tight. It's like I say, what you like, what you're looking for. Both of these guys are very, very technical, but none of them have taken this. They haven't taken the ball by the horns at the moment, and I think it's all to fight for in these final 5 rounds.
And there's moments like that when the crowd get excited, but for me, both men are landing at the same time. No one's coming out the better of those exchanges.
That's exactly what it is. A real thinking fight from both of them. James again, quick with his feet, moving out of range, but not doing anything on the return. Good jab from Henty. James comes back, another jab again from Henty. They're the scoring shots. They're the ones that can be the difference between winning and losing rounds. That's how tight this is between these two.
Neither man at the moment consistently able to get behind that jab. A little bit gun shy. It seems to double pump it, as you say. You wanted to see him double up on that.
And for the judges, you know, when they're looking for something to sway you, you go, is it the guy that's trying to force the fight, force the pace? And if that's the case, it's Jake Henty that's doing that. You know, there's a solid look around Henty. Hands held high. He's the one that's saying, when you're boxing like that, that's like saying, come on, in you come, I want to fight. He's trying to draw the fight there. That was good work. Oh, solid jab there. No, the legs just... Was he off balance there, James, or was there a little dip of the knees?
Well, there's certainly a little bit of blood from the nose, and a couple of times when the jabs landed clean from Henty. Bit of a mess there for Finley James. Tibbs and the crew are going to have to work on that in the corner. And as you say, Spencer, when he turned away on the ropes, it was a little bit of a stumble.
Yeah, Henty will gain a lot of confidence from that blood as well, trust me. That will give him a new lease of life.
Good left hook from James, and he needed a shot to give himself something from this round, because Henty well on top there, and he stares him down on the bell as if to say, I reckon I've got your number here, mate.
Yeah, that was probably the best round of the fight so far from Jake Henty. For me, there was a couple of stinging jabs in there, and that was probably one of them that done the damage to Finley James's nose, and it was bleeding quite heavily. That gives a fighter a lot of energy when you see the blood like that and you see it flowing. You get a second win, a new lease of life, and We may have got that from Jake Henty. It's going to be interesting here because for Finley James now, he's going to have to come out and do something. He's going to have to find something, put the shots together a little bit more. Yeah, the moving around from left to right is beautiful, and you know, being very elusive and difficult to hit, that's great. But you've got to be the aggressor as well. You need to let the shots go, and I think that's where James is right now for me in this one. Henty's the one that's trying to force the pace, and that might be just doing enough to be getting him over the line at the moment.
Yeah, you mentioned James looking fleet of foot and stylistic, and sometimes when he snapped that jab out, it's not come with a snap. It's been very dabby, whereas Henty has put the full force behind it, and that's what seems to have busted open the nose of Finley James.
Yep, and that's what maybe just stealing the rounds, just leaning towards Henty in a couple of these rounds, is that, you know, the more purpose coming from Jake Henty.
James trying, it seems, to get a little bit more behind that jab, a bit more force. Really stick it into the face of Henty, which he hasn't done so far.
Yeah, he's just looking for an opening at the moment, James. He's trying to find something, but there's a solid look around Henty. As he holds the centre of the ring, he's not taking the bait, he's not falling for any little movements coming from James. Good performance so far, and I don't know if James got a broken nose there because his eyes seem to be bad as well. The nose seems to have swollen a little bit, so that may be a problem in the last quarter of this contest.
Yeah, the mouth's hanging open. You wonder if he's breathing now through the mouth. And that will just add to the fire as far as Henty's concerned.
Both guys missing by a whisker there. James with a jab, Henty with a hook.
Hook from James, not really doing anything. Henty looks like he's sitting down, and that was a great right hand. His corner loved it. You can tell as well that the Finley James support has gone a little bit quiet.
Yeah, looking over to the opposite corner, looking at Mark Tibbs in there. There might be a little sense of urgency now as he's calling his man on. He wants his man, Finley James, to do a little bit more. As I said, James doing a great job of movement on the perimeter of the ring. We need to see a little more now.
Oh,
the aggressor is Henty, and that might be enough.
This is the learning curve that Finley James has maybe not had before. And I said before, I saw Jake Henty stood ringside earlier tonight. He was staring at the ring. There was a real focus. It was like, I've had to wait long enough for this opportunity, and he is taking that opportunity at the moment.
Yeah, but you know what? It's so difficult for fighters in activity at this stage of their careers. You know, they've got to go out, get jobs, because, you know, they may have young families or they've got to support themselves. And it's a difficult life, you know, trying to become a boxer, trying to reach the heights. And this is the platform, this is the opportunity for both of them. And you just sense that Henty feels that. And that was another good round in the bag there as he walked back to the corner. Jake Henty looking pleased with himself. The corner looked pleased as well. And if we look over into the opposite corner, Jimmy Tibbs, Mark Tibbs, a wealth of experience, been there, seen it, done it, and they're going to have to use that experience now with Finley James, because he's going to need a kick up the backside here. He's lost the last few rounds on my scorecard, not by much, but he's lost them on my scorecard because he's just not doing enough. He needs to roll the dice a little bit here. With 3 rounds to go, this could be a 3-round contest, Gaz. This really could all lie on these last 3 rounds. But if anyone's in front, it's definitely Jake Henty. So James has to do something, and do something now.
Uncharted waters these for Finley James. Last time out, he's got an 8-round shutout over the Argentinian-born Ezequiel Gregores. He's not had it anywhere near as easy tonight. And as we head into the 8th round of this one, he's got work to do. The Henty corner were visibly encouraged by everything they've seen over the last few rounds. The Tibbs corner, not so much.
Yep, you read the body language, don't you, in the corners when you're looking at the fighters. And Henty's corner looked a lot happier than Finley James's for sure. James is the one with the facial damage. And he's the one that you just feel needs to do something here. Big opportunity for both of these guys going into it. Both undefeated, both equal records, 9 undefeated. Would it be considered an upset for James if he lost? Well, he's been the more active of the two for sure in recent times.
Tried to land that straight left there, but although the crowd are excited, I don't think it's causing Henty any problems.
No, he seems he's boxing within himself here, Henty. He seems happy with the way it's going. James is the one that's boxing on the outside, looking for the opening, trying to find something, but just can't find it. That's the difference here. Boxing a little bit too negative for me here, James. Because I know that Mark and Jimmy would have had that word in the corner of him and said, listen, son, even if you're not behind, this is razor tight. This could be one of those. There could be won and lost in these last few rounds. You need to give us something. You can box on the back foot and still throw punches, still win fights, still box with confidence. And I'm just not feeling that here from Finley James. Henty is the one that wants to fight. He's the one that's calling it on. He's the one stalking his prey, if you like.
I think that's shown by the fact that his shots just look a little bit more meaningful. Left hook from James there, but not the full meat behind it. Didn't really cause Henty any problems as Henty snaps in a couple of scoring jabs. James getting some success when he counters those, but Henty is the aggressor here. He's getting through first. And again there. Crowd loving the footwork of James, but then he eats that jab as he moves away, and that's where Henty's had some really good success.
That's exactly it, and the jab again there from Henty again, and that's the difference here. That was more from James there. The left hand right hook over the top. I'd like to see more of that, build on that. The aggressor again though is Henty, isn't it? He's the one that's going for it. Beautiful movement by James, but that's all it is, movement.
And he didn't get out of the way at any of those. Henty with about 3 or 4 in those final few seconds. And as we always say, it'll be the final few shots of the round that the judges do remember. And those would have been right there.
But I think in this case scenario, Gaz, I think that's the difference between winning and losing the rounds here at the moment, because there's nothing of real significance that is landing in there at the moment, and it's the jabs. A couple of solid jabs might be the difference between winning and losing the round. Henty is the aggressor. He's the one doing that. He's walking forward. James, yes, you're lovely. You're switching from left to right. You're trying to be creative. You're trying to set the traps. Henty's not taking that, so you need to sit in the pocket. You need to have a little go yourself sometimes. Punches in bunches. That's what we need to see. You can't be negative, flicking the jab and hoping to win the round or win the fight on that, because that's not going to get it over the line.
Well, in terms of a beauty contest, Finley James would probably win every round. He looks lovely out there, moves so gracefully. But it's Henty that has come with purpose with his shots, and James is going to need that in the last couple of rounds.
You nailed it, Gaz. He's come with purpose, and I think that's the difference between these two at the moment.
Big couple of rounds. In both of these men's careers, we wouldn't be writing either of them off at this stage. And for Finley James, even if he did take a defeat here, what a learning curve. 10 tough rounds, and he'll take plenty from this into future contests.
Listen, I think that we can see that there's a lot of talent with Finley James. Shot selections, great movement, avoiding the punches, all of that is fantastic, but I'd just like to see him a little bit more aggressive, you know, a little bit more willing to stand and throw some punches, or even throw them on the move, but we've just not seen that tonight, and that might cost him.
You never like to judge who perhaps is the hungrier of the two, but Jake Henty looked like a man who has been out of the ring. He is absolutely desperate for this. This is a career definer for him. He could have to go back to doing a normal day job if he can't get the win here.
Well, he's the one that just seems to want the win a little bit more for me in this one at the moment, and I think that James is trying to nick it. I get that. I know that he's a technical boxer. I understand that. but you have to do something. You have to give a little bit more at this level.
Well, at some stage in the career, you're going to have to dig deep and have a war, and Finley James has got to that stage in this, just the 10th pro outing of his career. Both men starting to open up. Maybe Finley James knows that he has to start to do that now.
And that's exactly what it is. James now starting to hold his feet more. The crowd are urging him. He's got good support in here tonight. The crowd are urging him to do something. They're liking what they're seeing.
A few times James has thrown some lovely shots that have been well defended by Henty. They've caught the glove, and then James seems a bit discouraged by that. But there's nothing wrong, is there, with hitting the gloves? You know, throw the shots. At some stage, they're going to get through.
No, that's exactly right. Both guys there throwing left hooks, or sorry, throwing hooks simultaneously. Solid jab through the middle again from Henty. James looking for something.
Henty's got a real...
the end of the 9th round.
Sorry,
not
Spencer,
enough urgency from James. He's
good
bringing
left
them out.
hand there. Good left hand from James. And now they start to go to work here at the final stages of this round. Wow. That's probably the best and most meaningful shot that James has thrown all fight.
Yeah, James put a nice little combination together there. And that's what we needed to see more of earlier on in this contest. But look at the response from Jake Henty. You mentioned it, Gaz, how much he wants it, how much he needs it. And I think we saw a little bit there in the body language of Henty. He got hit with a little combination, and look at the way that he fired back. He'd come straight back at him, pinned James on the ropes. Great round, maybe a round that James nicked, maybe. But he's lost a few of them on my scorecard before that one. And going into this 10th final round, he's going to need a big round, James. Maybe a knockdown, maybe a knockout to win this one. Because Jake Henty, for me, has just done enough in these rounds. Technical contest, interesting contest. Let's see how we go, 10th and final round.
Here we go then. The final round. Who will go home with the vacant British Southern Area welterweight title? Jake Henty, who looked so poised and in control up until the final seconds of that 9th round, when Finley James landed his best shot of the contest. Then it became a bit ragged for the first time. And maybe James needs to make it like that in this round.
We don't know which way the judges have gone on this one. Scorecards could be close, they could be wide. Some of those early rounds were very subjective. This is better work now from James, who's decided to let his hands go. Is it too little too late?
Well, both may feel that this is on a knife edge. It could be that both corners feel it's down to this round. Certainly the way that each fighter has come out, I think they believe winner of this final round gets it. Good right hand there from Henty on the ropes. Finley James having to hold up there and perhaps showing the signs of the first 10 round of this, the longest he's gone in his pro career. Never passed 8 rounds before.
Well, he's showing a good engine in there, James, for sure. Still very focused, switched on, movement still good. Henty trying to force something here in this last round, misses with that lead right hook.
Credit to the ref, tried to let them fight out of that one. Nice 1-2 from James. Again, a couple.
That's better work from James.
Straight through the defences that time. The most consistent the jabs looked all night for Finley James. Back comes Henty though. Great stuff in this final round.
Yep, James's face showing signs of wear and tear for sure. You can tell he's been in a fight, and signs of frustration here from Jake Henty in this last round.
The left hand there got through from Finley James. Henty just trying to reset himself here. It's been an awkward final round. I think he realises that Finley James has started to get through with a little bit, so he's on the retreat. Just a little bit of kidology there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is better work there from James. Should have done some of this maybe a little earlier on. I tell you what, if James takes this last round, which I suspect he has, and this fight, on my scorecard anyway, is quite close, because I've got this 6 rounds to 4 in favour of Jake Hentley. But then rounds, like I say, were subjective. This one's close, Gaz, that is for sure. But I've got this 96 to 94 in favour of Jake Henty. It's going to be interesting to see which way this one goes. I don't know how you've got that one, Gaz, but
well, you could go, as you say, you can go either way on that. If Finley James has got it, then the Tibbs camp have got it perfect, haven't they? They've rode it out till that final round. James has come on strong on down the stretch, and for a man in his first 10-rounder, that was impressive showing in that final round.
Yeah, it was. It was. I just felt that Henty was getting the edge on those close rounds. He was the aggressor. He may have done enough to win them. So I think I'm leaning towards Jake Henty in that one.
Well, they've done the maths really quickly. Let's see who's got it. It's over to Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Kieran McCann scores the bout 96 to 94. And your winner and your new Southern Area welterweight champion, Jake Henty.
Jake Henty, what a comeback, over a year out of the ring, but he strolls in here to the copper box and seizes the vacant British Southern Area welterweight title, and Spencer Oliver got it absolutely bang on.
Yep, just as I thought, Henty on those very close rounds was the aggressor. Landed a couple of shots that might have been the difference between winning and losing it. In a very technical fight with a lot on the line here. The Southern Area title, yep, that's a beautiful title to win. And it's a real springboard for bigger, better things. But now that will really put Jake Henty, who's been inactive in recent times, in the picture, because he has now gone from the hunter to the hunted, having that title.
Well, it was the chance to kickstart his career, and my word, Jake Henty has taken full advantage of that. Let's just hope it's not as long a layoff after this. 14 months he's had to sit on the sidelines and watch others go to work. Well, he's the one that's gone to work tonight. He's taking home the title. Finley James will come again, no doubt about that. We saw enough there to suggest there's plenty in the future of the man called the captain, but tonight it's all about Jake Henty. Well, here we are then, the beautiful Copper Box Arena, the home for Olympic boxing in 2012, the home tonight for Harlem Eubank versus David Papot for the vacant IBF International welterweight title, and the road the Harlem Eubank hopes will take him to world honours. That's to come later, the main card starting at 7, but still a couple of fights here on the prelims before we get there. And next up, it will be the heavyweights. Matty Harris and Ben Vickers going toe-to-toe, so let's get them into the ring. Here's that man, Huss again.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for our next bout of the evening, scheduled 6 3-minute rounds in the heavyweights division. Please welcome to the ring, Ben Vickers.
Here comes Ben Vickers wasting absolutely no time. The man they call the Butcher, looking to serve up what would probably be regarded as quite a shock if he gets past Matty Harris.
Yep, tough guy this Ben Vickers. Don't read too much into the record, because he can be very, very dangerous given his opportunity.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Matty Harris.
The Magic Man, Matty Harris. 10-1, but he comes in here on a real high following that impressive second round KO of Franklin Ignatius on the undercard of Chisora Wilder at the O2. He's a big-time fighter these days, and he's got another chance to make a statement tonight.
Yep, big opportunity last time out against Ignatius, and he took it in a brilliant victory, and he'll be looking to build on that now on another big platform. Matty Harris, who I've seen sparring the likes of Derek Chisora over the years and putting up great performances in those sparring sessions. A real prospect, this young kid. Looking forward to seeing how he goes here against the tough Ben Vickers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the heavyweights division. This bout is brought to you by MF Pro, Nielsen Boxing, and the Zone. And proudly sponsored by Oosh, Rainbet, Killer Pablo, and Cole. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Ben Farnsworth and Des Reese. Your timekeeper at the bell, Brett Bowles. And your third person in charge of the action in the ring, referee, Amy Booth. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the black and red. His official weight of 248 pounds. He has a record of 9 fights, 4 losses, 2 draws, 3 wins, and one of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Wandsworth, London, England's United Kingdom, introducing Ben the Butcher Vickers. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the light blue and white trim. His official weight of 254 pounds. He has a record of 11 fights, 1 loss, 10 wins, and 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Coventry, England, United Kingdom, introducing Matty Harris.
Listen to my instructions at all times. Watch your heads and all of those when I say break, step back. Protect yourself at all times. Touch.
Well, we're just happy, Spencer, that Ben Vickers is here at all. I think he only arrived around half an hour ago, and his footwear only arrived about 20 minutes ago.
Well, that's fortunate. I don't think I've seen anyone box barefooted before, so lucky, Gaz. Those boots arrived in time, because I'll tell you something, my trainers certainly wouldn't have fitted him. Big old feet he's got on him. Big old guy, Ben Vickers. And he's in against a good young prospect in Matty Harris, who I've seen over the years, seen in the gyms, sparring, learning his trade. Good win last time out. Can he build on that now? Vickers, as I said, is a lot better than his record would suggest. Only the 3 victories, 4 losses, a couple of draws. But he's very capable.
Yeah, Vickers not the most active. Maybe that's why the footwear usually stays at home, but this is a real step up for him against Matty Harris, a man looking to mix it with bigger and better, and it's a real boom time for the heavyweight division. That crop at the top are starting to near the end of the road, and there are plenty of names queuing up to take that mantle, and Matty Harris will consider himself one amongst those.
Yep, it is a changing of the guard, isn't it, with the heavyweights right now, the twilight of their careers, all the big names that have dominated the division over the last decade or so. But there is a new generation, a new crop coming through. Moses Atauma, maybe the leading light of that lot, but Matty Harris will want to put himself firmly in the mix. Peter Fury in his corner, great trainer. He's worked with some fantastic fighters over the years. Peter's got full confidence in Harris, but he has to deliver here.
Well, as he should have full confidence. A couple of meaningful body shots from Harris there, backing up Vickers, feeling his way into this one. Matty Harris. Riding the crest of a wave after that magnificent dismantling of Franklin Ignatius just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, solid performance against a solid opponent there. Ignatius is a very difficult guy to look good against and to get rid of, and he's done that in scintillating fashion. Good performance there from Harris. He's got a tough guy in Vickers in front of him, stubborn fighter. You say inactivity's been a problem for him. The Butcher over the years.
And the Butcher getting carved up a little bit at the end of this round. Harris not doing anything silly though. It's much like the Ignatius fight. Felt his way in that first round, but then really put his foot to the floor in the second. And knows all about putting his foot to the floor as well. The former Asda delivery driver, now dropping men in the ring.
It certainly is. That was a good opening round there from Matty Harris, who took control. Opts to fight with his hands down by his waist. Always dangerous for heavyweights. Lennox Lewis used to be one of those guys that carried his hands down quite low. He paid the price a couple of times. Switch off for 1 second, as we know in the heavyweights, it's lights out. Harris does have that one blemish on his record. That was back in 2023. He's since gone on, rebuilt under the watchful eye of Peter Fury. Come back with 4 or 5 wins since then. Done nothing wrong, has put himself in a position where he is now considered one of the young prospects coming through. But he has to get over fighters like Ben Vickers, who I said can be stubborn, and these are the fighters where you really learn your trade, and you just feel that Harris may have to do a few rounds here against Vickers.
Yeah, the Butcher hasn't tasted victory in 3 years, but the last time he did put one in the win column, it was here at the Copper Box. So he has got previous, but this is another level against a man who we expect to be one of those new contenders in the heavyweight division. But for Matty Harris, this is the opportunity to put another highlight on tape. Already looks like he's going to try and open up a little bit more in this second round.
Good work there from Harris. Just started the attacks downstairs, took the focus downstairs, and come through with a good right hand over the top.
Another straight right over the top landing. Vickers visibly wary of the power that Harris possesses. As you mentioned, Spence, he's been reinvigorated under Peter Fury, hasn't he? 5 wins on the bounce.
Yeah, the confidence very much reinstalled for Matty Harris. I know he's got bags of ability. Like I say, I've seen him sparring in the gyms over the years. He's been waiting for the opportunity. He's been waiting patiently. He's now got those opportunities in those last couple of contests. Big stage last time out, big stage tonight. Where's it going to take him over the next 12 months or so?
Talk about top-level sparring. He's actually been part of the Anthony Joshua camp in the lead-up to the Christian Prenga fight, which you can see live and exclusive on DAZN next Saturday. We'll be in Jeddah for that one.
Yep, very much looking forward to that.
You'll be there for TalkSport?
I'll be there for TalkSport, doing our stuff, doing our coverage as we always do. Anthony Joshua back in the ring, which is great to see after the tragic circumstances he went through over the Christmas period. It was very, very tough, and there's a great undercard obviously on there as well. Josh Kelly is defending his world title. Really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, Hamza Shiraz as well, putting his world title on the line, and I'll be reverting to the day job next Saturday, producing the show live from Jeddah. Harris finds the jab there on the turn. Vickers stood up to what Harris has thrown so far, but Harris yet to really get in his groove.
Yeah, just not doing anything silly here, Harris, keeping it at range. Vickers really no more than being defensive in there at the moment, which is making things difficult for Harris. Little compensation at the end of that round there. I think Vickers felt that Harris was taking some sort of liberty there. I think he was touching gloves, but Vickers wasn't happy about that, so I don't really know what went wrong there.
No, it's awkward to see. There seems to be a little bit of blood on the bridge of the nose of Ben Vickers. So whether he feels he's been caught with something illegal.
Still unhappy about that in the corner. Have to regroup, forget that, move on. That's what you have to do. Over in the opposite corner, Big Matty Harris taking the instructions from Peter Fury, seems happy.
Just looking for a little bit of fluidity here, Matty Harris. I think we'll... I was going to say get a conclusion to what happened at the end of that round, but I don't think we're any of the wiser as to what that confrontation was all about. Harris trying to get back to basics straight away at the start of this round. A couple of good-looking uppercuts, but 8-1 from Vickers there. He's got to be careful not to go too gung-ho here, Harris.
Yep, nice relaxed style about Harris, isn't there? Worked well on the inside there. Short-range stuff was good. Doubled up on that uppercut. Vickers coming back with a little jab of his own, just to spice it up a little bit.
Blowing it out there, Vickers, as he starts to feel the pace a bit. He hasn't been as active as he would have liked to have been in recent times. I think another man who would like to see more mileage up against these up-and-coming heavyweights. I think he knows his place in the pecking order, but would just like a little bit more activity.
Nice right hand over the top. Nodded his head there, Vickers, or shook his head, should I say. Just saying, nope, you never hurt me, which generally means you did. He's stalking forward, making things a little difficult for Harris as he throws the left hook right hand. That's better work from Vickers.
Yeah, it's good
Maybe
work.
just growing in confidence here, Gaz.
Been a little bit static, Harris, for a man who usually moves so impressively. Just standing in front of Vickers. Bearing in mind, he hasn't got to work too much to land the shot, but does he need to be making Vickers think a little bit more?
Yeah, I just want to see a little more urgency around his work. Matty Harris is treating it a little bit like a sparring session in there at the moment. There's a bit of blood coming from the right cheek there. He seems to have a little cut underneath the eye there, Harris.
Just grazed under the eye there, Matty Harris. It's been slightly untidy over the opening few rounds of this one as we hit the halfway point. Yet to catch fire in this heavyweight contest scheduled for 6.
Yeah, it's been a little lacklustre here from Matty Harris at the beginning of this contest. I want to see a little more sense of urgency in there. That eye's bothering him. Keeps dabbing away at that. Will that give Vickers the confidence that he needs to start letting his hands go a little bit more?
going to say, I'll be happy that cuts underneath the eyes, which should be causing him too much problem vision-wise, but nevertheless, it'll still be uncomfortable. Tries to get that left hook to the body, just slow Vickers' momentum down. Fancying it in this third round, a little bit of showboating.
Well, I've got to say, Gaz, the left hook to the body seems to lighten Vickers up, if I'm totally honest there, as he gets up on his toes, and I think that Ben Vickers, he'll be very pleased with the way that things are going there. That was a lacklustre round there from Matty Harris. Just seemed to lose composure, switch off a little bit. The eye was bothering him a little bit. I wouldn't like to repeat the language that Peter Fury's probably saying to him in the corner right now, because I can see his head nodding like a dog in there at the moment, Peter Fury, and they won't be particularly nice words that he's probably saying there to Harris, because he won't be pleased with that last round.
Well, we saw him not long ago on the zone, the air of calm and composure in the corner of Rico Verhoeven. He's getting really stuck into Matty Harris there, though. I think, as you say, he's just trying to wake up Harris.
Well, that's exactly what needs to be done there. He's not happy at all, and rightly so, because Matty Harris, who I've talked about as a good little prospect, and he is a good prospect, he switched off there. Lacklustre round, picked up a bit of eye damage, seemed to bother him a little bit, lost focus. Now he needs to regroup.
Yeah, he's not been in any trouble, Harris, but he's certainly not dazzled so far. Wonder if that last round will just readdress the focus for Matty Harris. And this is a real opportunity when you've got the likes of Leo Atang and Adam Alanian, not to mention, as you said, Moses Atauma, that young batch of heavyweights who are all making statements on the zone. This is Matty Harris' chance. He did it last time out, but he needs to do it again, needs to be consistent.
Well, this is it, guys. This is what it is. It's all about building your profile, you know, getting the other fighters to respect you, and he done that last time out against Ignatius, and he looked great in doing that. You need to build on that now, because it is a changing of the times, a passing of the baton. You know, and this is the new generation coming through, and Matty Harris needs to make a statement there. He didn't do that in the last round, but that was a couple of nice right hands, and this is better work here from Harris.
Two good right hooks landing from Harris. Hasn't seemed to have troubled Vickers too much, but they were eye-catching shots. Vickers scores one of his own, but that gave Harris the chance to unload over the top. Look for that shot a few times. Harris just dropping that left hand, so you can see what he's looking at there, Harris.
Yeah, we're just trying to create an opening here with Vickers, who's solid and compact as he comes forward. Difficult to break through that defences. Harris, as I said, choosing to box, you know, with that guard low, which is always dangerous, especially if you sit in the pocket just too long, split second too long. And we know heavyweight boxing, one shot turns everything around. So you have to be careful playing that game. You're drawing someone in, but you have to be spiteful when you let your shots go. You can't be lacklustre, you can't be lazy, and I think we've seen glimpses of that tonight with Matty Harris.
Yeah, he's flicking that jab low from a low angle, which it looks stylistic, it looks impressive, but it can't be causing as much damage as what a stiff jab would be. And you just feel if he gets back to that, he will break down Vickers.
That's exactly right. What he needs to do is he needs to mix that in with that lazy jab. He needs to sling a stiff one in. You know, sell it up. Stab a jab to the body. We need a little bit of that. You can't just be flicking and pouring all the time, because you're playing a dangerous game by doing that.
The final stages of the fourth round, the round in which Harris has landed a couple of right hands like that, but hasn't done it enough for his liking.
Another round in the bag from Matty Harris, that's for sure. He's doing enough to win these rounds, but he's not doing enough to impress, catch the eye. You've mentioned the names there, Gaz, the younger fighters that are coming through, and this is all about making a statement. It's not just about winning, it's about making a statement, and we're not seeing the best of Matty Harris's ability at the moment. You can tell the body language in the corner there as well. They're not happy with it either. We know what he can deliver, we know what he can do. And when you're a young fighter and you're coming through, you're having your 12th contest, you need to make a statement. You need to impress. The zone is the home of boxing. You're there, you're up on the cards. You got to impress at this stage.
And that is the problem when the other youngsters who are coming up around you are making those kind of statements. Talking of Adam Alanian, he'll be on the zone on August the 1st when we head to Dublin. And Leo Atang, of course, makes his US debut on that Pacheco card as Ben Vickers just threatens to lay the head in. He's agitated, Vickers, isn't he?
Yep, he certainly is. Frustrated, maybe, with Matty Harris. Matty Harris taking instructions.
Been told one more of them, they'll take a point off, so it's no nonsense. Harris tries again to land that big right hand. Is he perhaps going to that a little bit too much, a little bit too one-dimensional so far?
Yep, predictable is what it is. And, you know, when you step up those levels, fighters will read that, so you have to be careful. Unpredictability always wins. We want to see a bit of variety. You know, he boxes with that style. Stylistic, hands down. So you've got to be a little bit creative. And I know that he's got that in the bag as well, Matty Harris. He has that ability. But he's not just showing it tonight. Yes, he's winning these rounds. Yes, he's winning the fight. But I'd just like to see a little bit more.
Just seems to be sporadic shots from Harris at the moment. They're scoring, but he's not jumping on it. He's not going after Vickers.
Nice short left hook counter there from Vickers. Harris in control though, doing as he pleases. There's that pouring jab.
And when Vickers threw that, he was slightly off balance, and you felt there might be an opportunity for Harris there, but he didn't quite jump on it, didn't quite see the opening. How will the Harris corner be assessing what they've seen from their man so far in this one?
Listen, I think knowing Peter Fury, he always wants more, and his job is to be critical of the things that he's doing wrong, not the things that he's doing right. And there's been a lot wrong with what he's been doing tonight. I think for me, it's that lapses in concentration. It's been a big problem, and it's a big problem when you're heavyweight boxing as well. Pouring with a jab, not enough spite around his work. But there's a lot of good stuff that we've got about Matty Harris. We know that he's a great prospect. He's got great balance, composure, all of that shot selection. Yeah, it's all there. But you can't mix the bad stuff in with it as well and expect to get a good grading on a performance. And this is not a vintage Matty Harris performance for me.
And at the age of 26, as Harris is now, it's time to start going through the gears, putting away the likes of Ben Vickers, and that's not to besmirch the man in the black trunks, but I think this was a fight we expected Harris to deal with, and so far making slightly hard work of it.
You've nailed it, Gaz. That's exactly what it is. He's making harder work of it than what he should be. You know, I think that, as we said, coming into this fight, Ben Vickers is better than his record would suggest. He's a tough guy. You know, he's boxed some good fighters and he's pushed some good fighters. But these are the fighters, no disrespect to Ben Vickers, that Matty Harris, if he's the prospect that we think he is, should be dealing with. And at the moment he's having a tough night with him. You know, he's being made to ask questions about himself in there. Yeah, all right, he's controlling the fight and winning the fight. But then lapses of concentration for me have not been impressive.
And for Matty Harris, who no doubt sees himself as the kind of fighter who needs to be on the undercard of a big fight tonight. If he's going to progress from the prelims, we need the highlight knockout. We need the showreel moment, which makes him a crowd favourite, and then people want to see the guy.
And that's exactly what it is. Like you say, when you're looking at jumping out of prelims, making the big cards, you know, these are the fights that you've got to impress in. These are the fights that you have to impress the bosses in. So you know what? This is the next heavyweight. This is the one we want to bring through. So let's hope we can see that in this next sixth and final round.
2.5 minutes to put away Ben Vickers for Matty Harris. The victory was probably never really ever in question from the moment he made his ring walk, but it's how he goes about getting it. There is an air of frustration about him, but could he be doing more himself? It's not the opponent.
That's exactly what it is. You know what? Some fighters turn up and the training's all gone well, and then it just doesn't click on the night. Peter Fury now calling him in, saying, come on, build on it. Let's have a show-reel finish. That's what we need here. We need something a little bit impressive. Go through the gears.
And now Harris just starting to let the shots go a little bit more. Had an opportunity with Vickers backed up on the ropes where he could have maybe smothered him and got around him, and he didn't jump on it.
Nice solid jab through the middle there from Harris.
Better now, moving. Good straight right hand. Drew some applause from two-time champion of the world, Carl Frampton, who's already sat ringside, ready for tonight's action at 7. Live on DAZN, the main card. Harlem Eubank against David Papot. For those of you watching on the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel, if you're not already a DAZN subscriber, get over there. Why not treat yourself to a bit of Ultimate as well? Get yourself 12 pay-per-views into the bargain. All part of the package. I'm a company man, Spence.
Yeah, great selling point there, Gaz, and I'm sure you've got yourself a few more subscribers off the back of that one. Very, very impressive, mate. But it is a fantastic card we've got tonight, as you say. Topped by Harlem Eubank. Looking forward to that one, and a great undercard as well. We've had some great prelims here tonight. Matty Harris, the heavyweight prospect, maybe not looked as good as we've seen him in the past, but looks like he's on his way to another victory against the tough Ben Vickers.
Ben Vickers actually encouraging him to come on. He's saying, come on, Matty, what have you got? Show us, prospect, what do you like?
And that's exactly what it is.
Harris sticks a couple to the body and then tries to go upstairs. Dancing and posturing his way through the final round here. Harris, I think he's accepted now that this one's going the distance as he eats a shot there and again. Tell you what, Matty Harris is going to be pretty frustrated, I think, with the way this one's gone tonight.
Yep, it won't be his finest moment, that Matty Harris. He's come out with a victory, probably won every round in the process as well. But when you're a young heavyweight prospect and you've got so many young heavyweight prospects that are coming through, good prospects coming through, you have to shine. It's not just about stumbling over the line, it's about impressing. He impressed in his last fight against Franco Ignatius, and tonight not so impressive, but a win's a win. He keeps himself on track for the bigger nights in the future for sure. This is a formality, I'm sure. The referee,
well, barring any miracles, Matty Harris will go to 11-1, but let's just make sure. Here's Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee who scores about 60 to 54. And your winner, Matty Harris.
Well, Matty Harris was far from magic tonight, but it's job done, and I think the glance ringside suggests as much. One in the win column hasn't quite impressed. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. Right, tonight we've still got Harlem Eubank against David Papot. But a bit later on, we've also got Diego Pacheco as he goes up against Emmanuel Alim. 2 titles on the line in LA. Let's learn a little bit more about Pacheco now.
Growing up and watching my parents struggle, it was really hard. So my main motive was to help my family.
Proudly representing his home of South Central Los Angeles, California, Diego Pacheco.
I weathered the storm and I felt something I never felt before.
Spiteful, hurtful stuff. Pacheco all over him.
A real superstar in the making.
There's things that are bigger than boxing for sure. And for me, that's family. And I thank this little girl for that.
There's things that he can do that I don't think he knows he can do yet.
You better go over there and win. This is Diego Pacheco. Don't miss my fight on DAZN.
Well, you can see plenty more of that feature on the DAZN platform now, part of the Spotlight series. Chop Gonzalez on there as well. Plenty of great features for the upcoming fights across the DAZN schedule, including, of course, Anthony Joshua and Christian Prenga next weekend. And I can let you know an exclusive documentary following Anthony Joshua throughout his whole build-up throughout camp. That drops this Tuesday, and it's well worth tuning into. Right, one more fight left on the prelims, and it should be a decent one too. Aaron Prosper, Mikey Saki for the vacant English super lightweight title, and to get them to the ring is Huss.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for our next bout of the evening, scheduled 10 3-minute rounds for the vacant English super lightweight championship. And now please welcome to the ring, Mikey Sechi.
Here comes Mikey Sechi, 14-5, fighting out of Chingford, England. Another man who suffered with inactivity. This is his first fight in 13 months. But as we saw earlier in the night, it's an opportunity not only to get back in the ring, but he could walk out of here with a belt as well.
Yep, he is the former English super lightweight champion, trying to regain that title, the vacant title tonight. Frustration for Mikey Saki in the past, inactivity. As you said, Gaz, played a big part of that, but he gets that opportunity again tonight. What can he do with it?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Aaron Prosper.
Aaron Prosper, 15-2. He comes back down to the 140 division tonight, having fought at 150 last time out, but the promise of strapping an English title around your waist, just too big a carrot to turn down.
Yeah, great opportunity for Aaron Prosper. He's won the Southern Area title back in December 2025. That was against Dean Gardner. Now he gets the opportunity for the vacant English super lightweight title. Let's see if he can deliver. Huge opportunity for him tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds for the vacant English super lightweight championship. This bout is brought to you by MF Pro, Nielsen Boxing, and DAZN. Proudly sponsored by Oosh, Rainbet, Killer Pablo, and Cole. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Ben Harmsworth and Des Reese. Your inspectors ringside, Terry Martin, Alan Snelling, Chaz Coakley, Mika Wilshire, Harry McCauley, Lydia Mullen, Sinead McCormick, and Lucinda Nichols. Your timekeeper at the bell, John Smith. And your 3 judges scoring ringside, John Latham, Bob Williams, and Ron Kearney. And your 3rd man in charge of the action in the ring, A-star referee, Kieran McCann. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the white and gray. His official weight of 140 pounds even. He has a record of 19 fights, 5 losses, 14 wins, and 5 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Chingford, London, England, United Kingdom, introducing Mikey Sachi. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the blue with black trim. His official weight of 139.5 pounds. He has a record of 17 fights, 2 losses, 15 wins, and 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Sutton, London, England, United Kingdom, introducing Aaron Prosper.
Listen up, right? You've had your instructions in the dressing room, you're not expecting you to go, right? Keep the fight clean, you know, obey my commands, and most importantly, protect yourself all the time, right? Shake that.
Well, as you mentioned, Spence, Prosper comes in here already with the southern area super lightweight strap around him. Now looking to add the English version, but Mikey Sachi is no mug himself. Don't let the 5 defeats fool you. This guy, of course, has held this very title before, so it could be a really tight affair, this one.
Yep, real 50-50 fight. We've had a couple of those tonight already, and we've got some more to come as well. But Mikey Sachi, as you said, they get the fight, 5 losses. This kid knows the way around the ring. He's got a wealth of experience, tall, rangy. Nice fluent work around his movements as well. Aaron Prosper is in for a tough night tonight. Well, they both are really, as I say, because it's a 50-50 fight this. But Prosper has to get past that jab, get inside the range of Sachi. If he can do that, we've got a real contest on our hands.
Prosper,
oh, big right hand there.
He was springing around there, Prosper, but he caught that right hand. Almost guilty of moving a little bit too much, Prosper.
Yeah, we talked about it tonight, and we all right hand there.
Another right hand. The same shot which he caught when he swung around last time. That one landed flush, and he had to drop and take the knee. A flash knockdown, but a knockdown in the opening round.
Yep, only travelled about 6 inches, that one. He walked straight onto it. The knee gave way, and he went down. Body shot in there as well. This is a great start from Sachi. As I said, Prosper was always going to have problems getting through that jab, but it's not been the jab that's the problem. It's the backhand, the right hand that he's getting caught with. He needs to move his head off the line, slip the shots after he's thrown punches of his own here, because Sachi is looking dangerous tonight.
Yeah, an air of composure about Sachi in the way through that shot. It was nonchalant.
Big body shot went in there as well. You heard that slamming into the rib cage of Prosper.
Big opening round this for Sachi, and we've still got the best part of a minute left of it, and that right hook again finding its range. Well, Prosper's got plenty of support in the copper box, but they have gone distinctly silent here. Prosper trying to rip a couple of body shots of his own, but Sachi really does look calm as a cucumber in there.
Yeah, Sachi looking very, very composed, isn't he? Hands held high. Normally boxes behind that long lead left jab, but he's happy to sit in the pocket here and get close. Prosper on the back foot. He's the one that's looking a little disorientated. Oh, right hand just skims the whiskers again there of Prosper.
Well, work to do for Aaron Prosper, who would not have expected this. He was springing around with all the confidence of a man who I think thought he was going to have a easy night's work. Well, that's quickly been put to bed because Mikey Sachi, with that first round knockdown.
Yeah, come out of nowhere, didn't it? Short right hand that delivered. It's travelled about 6 inches or so. Seemed to land high on the head, Sajay. And he went down on his knee. It was a flash knockdown. He got up but didn't really regroup too well. Was getting caught with the right hands more often than not. And he'll have to change that, Gaz, going into this second round.
The timing of Sajay on that shot was impeccable, and it just goes to show you don't have to load up with the big power blows. How does Aaron Prosper redress the balance here? But I suppose the important thing is not to chase it.
Well, I think he has the experience not to chase it, that's the point. He's holding his ground well, back to working behind that jab, using his range. There's that looping right hand, he's throwing it over like he's bowling a cricket ball. But look at the response here. Sajay, and he needed to do that.
Nice work from Prosper, connecting with a couple of hooks of his own, and again with that right hook. Sajay's corner impressed by the defence of it. Again, that right hook lands after the body shot just before it. Prosper starting to land a lot more in this second round. He'll be feeling better about life now.
Yeah, Prosper definitely needed that, didn't he? He needed a lease of life, he needed something, a glimmer of hope, and he seems to have got that one.
And we've seen plenty of fights down the years, haven't we, where an opponent has been dropped in the opening round but have composed themselves and won every round after that. So it's not something, but again, the right hand of Sajay. Prosper fortunate there that he just ducked under that one.
Yep, Sajay's very dangerous with that right hand. He loops it round the side. Prosper needs to come off that line. He needs some head movement after he's thrown his own shots. Being the shorter fighter, he needs the one that needs to be inside working. But it's when he comes inside that is the problem. Sajay looping those right hands round the side and seems to be having successes there. But this one heating up nicely, and I agree with you, Gaz, that sometimes when a fighter's dropped or hurt in the first round, it can be the alarm call that he needs to get himself into it. And Prosper, that seems to have woke him up, doesn't it?
He probably had the better of the exchanges in this second round, but there was that moment where Sajay landed the big right again, which looks like it's going to be a useful weapon. A great uppercut from Prosper. That was a beautiful shot and really has hurt Sajay. And again with the uppercut. Fantastic work from Prosper here.
Yeah, beautiful work on the inside, and it's forced a little nick on the cheek there of Sajay. It was a lovely couple of uppercuts, wasn't it? Sajay took the shots well, but a nod of appreciation.
Straight right from Prosper, scoring as well. Good second round this from the man who was dropped in the first. He's come back firing in the second. Reddening around the lips of Sajay as he again has to take a big right, and there's a mark under the left eye as well. Some damage done to Sajay, and just the response that Aaron Prosper wanted and needed.
That's exactly what it is, Gaz. It was a response that he needed badly. It was a torrid opening round for Aaron Prosper, but he showed true character in that second round. Come out, grabbed the ball by the horns, landed a good right hand, followed by a couple of lovely uppercuts as well. Mikey, Sajay needed a little more than what he showed there in that second round. Caught with a couple of shots, seemed to lose composure just a little bit. Interesting contest, this one.
Well, Prosper has history of digging deep. When he won that Southern Area title, it was the third time that he fought for it, having come up short on the first two occasions. So is no stranger to adversity, and he's had to face some in the opening round here, but that second round display really has got this fight back on a level footing and shows what a 50-50 affair it is.
Yeah, it really has. Prosper, terrible start, but come back very, very well in that second round. What does this third round hold between two guys that seem very evenly matched? Different attributes between the two, but it's who can implement them in this contest that will come out victorious. They both know they can hurt each other. We've seen that in the first and second round.
Yeah, Saji did well to stand up to some of those shots in that second round, as again that looping right hand from Prosper. Sticking the jab down to the body as well as a lovely variation of shots from Prosper.
Yeah, he's keeping himself together well here. Prosper, right hand round the corner as well. Sage blocking that one. He has to be careful he doesn't get caught on the counter here. Both guys having their successes. Both guys fighting with their hearts on their sleeve.
Yeah, huge opportunity for both. For Prosper, the first time he stepped up to English level, having won Southern Area honours. Saji has been here before, of course. He also fought for the WBC International Super Lightweight title in 2019. He lost to Tyrone McKenna, who incidentally is back in action on the Katie Taylor undercard at Croke Park live on DAZN, September 5th.
Yep, so Sajay has had a flavour of this, isn't he? He's been here before. He knows what it's all about. He's tasted this. He's smelt the arena, smelt the atmosphere. But for Prosper, this is all new. And a huge opportunity it is. And so far, so good.
Good action across the opening 3 rounds as well. In stark contrast to the last encounter, which never really caught fire. Prosper's trying to step into those shots.
Yeah, good work from Prosper. Saji dropping the hands, trying to draw him in. What's his next move? You both feel that both of these guys have vulnerabilities, actually, so you never know what's going to happen. Good left hook goes in there from Prosper.
Couple of really thick body shots as well. Again, you heard that fun all around the arena. Saji blowing hard as he goes back to his corner.
Yeah, Mikey. Saji walks back to the corner there. And it was a slow walk back, wasn't it? He looks like he's been in a fight already after such a great start. Aaron Prosper seems to have got hold of it. He's had success in that second round, built on it for me in that third round as well. Sake, he's gonna have to do something different here to turn this around, Gaz, for me, because you can't keep taking shots like that and not unravel. Prosper up out of his corner early. The body language is in favour of the man that was in big trouble in round 1.
Well, is that sometimes the danger of the first round knockout? It gave Saji a little bit of false confidence, maybe.
It happens. It does happen. You know, he started well. Saji was working well behind the jab, landed that short right hand, and you thought he's going to take control of this. And Prosper showed his talents, you know, showed his character by coming back the way that he come back. But this fight is far from finished, I can say that for sure, because both guys have their vulnerabilities. It's a sort of edge of your seat stuff, this one, because there's going to be a breakthrough. I don't know what way it's going to go at the moment. You know, you favour Prosper at the moment, looking at it, the way that it's going, the momentum's with Prosper. You can't write Saji off, that is for sure.
No, we've seen already in that first round what a wonderful counter-puncher and the timing that Saji has got as well. It was actually in this 4th round that he first won this title with the knockout of the Lithuanian Denis Danichev.
Big left hook there from Prosper. Sent the head back from Saji, who took it well. He's holding his ground, but he's now not leading off first. He's allowing Prosper to get off with the shots first. Saji needs to get back to that jab, find the range, give something for Prosper. to think about, because at the moment, Prosper is just growing in confidence.
Yeah, Saji taking just a few too many. Prosper not wobbling with those shots, but they are landing, and they're landing clean.
That's it. It's the frequency that he is landing that is catching your eye at the moment. And there seems to be less coming back from Sajay. Body shots going, good work on the inside, just misses narrowly with that uppercut as well.
Yeah, softens the body and tries to work that right uppercut in again. It was a real weapon of choice in the second round, and looks as though Prosper's trying to load it up again as he lands that left hook. Prosper taking advantage of every opening. Saji not really giving him the openings. He's boxing well, but Prosper just boxing that little bit better at the moment.
That's exactly what it is. Sajay stalking forward, hands held high, not giving him anything, but Prosper is impressive because he's finding them. Look at the movement he's doing, the setups before, moving the head. We've talked about that in these previous prelim fights, about certain fighters walking in straight lines or whatever. Prosper just showing some good movement, creativity, and I think that's important.
He doesn't know which way he's going to go, Saji. Prosper moves with a real elegance in there.
Yeah, maybe the difference between the two at the moment, Gaz, that there is an air of confidence around Prosper, the elegance that he's moving with Sajay. It's like he's digging deep, grinding it out, and that is the difference between these two at the moment. Sajay wants to get back into this one. I think he needs to re-establish the jab, the thing that was working for him in the opening round, the thing that created the opportunity for that right hand and put Prosper down on his knee. But he needs to rediscover that to get himself back into this one, because the momentum is with Aaron Prosper at the moment.
Reminder that the vacant English super lightweight title on the line, and this 140 division, which is absolutely stacked. And domestically, Dalton Smith won this very title back in 2021. Pierce O'Leary as well, the current IBO champ, who puts that title on the line against Mark Chamberlain next weekend. So it is, as we've mentioned a few times, pick up this title. It's the stepping stone to bigger and better. And Aaron Prosper has got a style which could mix at world level, you feel.
Yep, he's got a nice style. It's attractive to watch. Good movement. He can fight on the front foot, back foot. Head movement's good as well. Lovely straight right hand through the middle there from Sakedo, and he needed that. Sajay is trying to grind this out at the moment. That's exactly what he's doing. But the momentum is definitely with Prosper.
Yeah, varying that jab as well. He went to the body and then to the head, always giving Saji something to think about. He's unpredictable, Prosper. Trying to work that uppercut in again as well. A little bit of a smile as he dances away from that shot.
Yeah, I think the difference between the two at the moment is the variety from Prosper at the moment. Sajay is being a little predictable, a little one-dimensional in his movements. We know what's coming now. He's reading it, and I think the good fighters do read it, and Prosper seems to have that ability. That's why you think if he's guided right, this kid, there could be something there for sure.
And the way he has reacted from that first round knockdown has been really impressive. I think there's every argument to say he's won the round since.
Yep, I think there's an argument to say he could be doing enough in this round as well. Good work again there, Prosper.
Another right hook landing nicely.
Yeah, it's the right hand round the back of the guard, isn't it? It was precise. It landed. Sajay took it well.
Starting to make Saji miss as well, and the way he smiled, I think, little realisation But the man in front of him is pulling away ever so slightly.
Yeah, that smile on Sajay's face is that's a psychology there. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to play the mind games.
Just fucking really with that jab, but then Prosper whips a left hand around. It's final seconds of the round, and Aaron Prosper ends it with a little flourish.
Yep, another good round for Aaron Prosper. There was an air of confidence around his work. Shot selection was great, working well to the body, to the head as well. Sajay was stalking forward. He's been trying to grind it out, but it's a little one-dimensional, a little bit predictable, and I think that Prosper at the moment is the one that has worked it out. He's the one that seems to be pulling away on my scorecard at the moment. After a torrid start, he's regrouped, got himself together, shown a lot of character, which is important for a fighter to show that he can come through that.
Yeah, didn't allow himself to get frustrated by that early knockdown, and Sajay slow to get off the stall, and I think feeling the pace, which has been pretty relentless from Aaron Prosper as we go into the second half of this fight. Scheduled for 10, the vacant English super lightweight title, the prize. The final fight of the prelims here at the Copper Box before the main action starts in under an hour, live on DAZN.
Yeah, we've had some great little contests so far. In these prelims, we've got some brilliant contests coming up as well. And we also involved in a great contest here with both guys putting it all on the line for the vacant English super lightweight title. What a good little contest it's been.
Great scrap so far, and we're into the second half of it. Prosper springing in and out of range, and again trying to throw that jab to the body. Right uppercut just missing, but then the left hook to the body scores lovely.
Yeah, Prosper is the one that is doing the good work. He's finding the gaps, finding the holes.
He's broken down the Sajay defence really well.
Yeah, Sajay now, he needs to do something different here. He's standing in front of his man. There's a lack of consistency around the jab now. His face is showing signs of wear and tear as well. It's been tough in there for him.
There's a slight air of going through the motions with that jab. He knows he needs to throw it, but there's not really any strategy behind it. It was better though, right hand over the top. Now is starting to move a little bit, Sajay, but Prosper not giving him a moment's peace.
No, he's got into a rhythm now, Prosper, and that is difficult to break when a fighter gets that. There's an air of confidence around his work. Head movement's good, he's switched on. Sajay has had his little moments, he's had a couple of good little shots, but it's not enough for me.
2 or 3 occasions in this round, Prosper's loaded up big and just missed. Sajay with the mind games as he tries a little soft shoe shuffle, easy for me to say. First real lull here, the crowd getting a little bit impatient. That shows the level of action to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to see a little something. Sajay maybe being a little too negative on the back foot. He's being forced to fight. We're not seeing enough throwing. Prosper with another round in the bank. He will feel like he's running away with this now. And he's just got to continue chipping away here, Prosper. And you just feel that if he continues the way that he's going, he may be able to force the stoppage late on here. But Sajay, he needs something big. He needs to do something roll the dice, roll the kitchen sink, whatever you want to use, whatever terminology you want to use, he needs it.
Yeah, I think he is feeling the pace, Saji. And it may not be the power shot from Prosper if he gets the timing right. And I think there's enough left in the tank of Saji that he'll want more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Got to say the momentum is with Aaron Prosper. He sees this as a big opportunity.
Seconds out, round 7.
Well, Aaron Prosper, who was going on just lovely in his pro career, but he's suffered 2 defeats in his last 5. It's been a little bit up and down. Striving for consistency now is what Prosper needs to do, and I suppose this fight has kind of summed up his career. There's little moments where he's lost concentration and paid the price, but for the most part, he's looked solid and he's looked effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a huge opportunity for Prosper. It's a sort of make or break crossroads fight for him, really. Can you move on to that next level? A level that Sajay has already been at. This is a title that he's already won. So both at different stages of their careers. For Sajay, this is a fight to keep his career alive. And a crossroads fight for Prosper to see just how good he is. Can he take it to that another level? So far, so good.
Yeah, the recovery from the first round knockdown has been really, really good as he again, that combination left and then right. The uppercuts again landed in this round as well. I think he fancies that one as the finisher, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. Prosper just seems to have taken his foot off the gas a little bit in this round, which will suit Sajay, because he's the guy that likes to fight at this pace, at this range. Say this will suit him. This is good.
Sajay's success has come at close quarters. Prosper, when he's kept it at range and sprung in and out like that. He's been happy enough on the back foot as well, Prosper.
Yeah, I think he's just taking a breather in this round. He's put a lot of intensity into those first 6. He probably feels that he's running away with a lead here. He can take his foot off the gas just a little bit. But this is maybe what Sajay needs to turn things around. He just needs that little bit of confidence, that little bit of hope. And he may be getting that in this round, because I think he's doing the better of it in this round. Sajay, he's found the range of that jab again. He's looped a couple of right hands around the side as well. And for Prosper, what works is that intensity. And he's just taken the foot off that.
And that's allowed Sajay perhaps the breather that he needed, because when he went back to the corner, he looked extremely leggy, but he's been able to have that breather as well in this round. To the left of the body there. I think Sajay happy to hold on there. Might have done a little bit more damage than he's letting on. Wild with the left hand, but scores with the right. Prosper. Strong end to the round with the jab landing as well.
Well, it was a round that Sajay may have done enough to win. It was a closer round than the previous rounds that we've seen anyway, but there was a weary look when he walked back to that corner there. We're sitting in the corner where he actually is. The face is looking a little marked up. The corner are really trying to rev him up, get him out there for these last 3 rounds. He's behind, he needs something big. Can he build on that last round? I'm not sure he can, Gaz. That's the point. I think that we're pretty much where we're at here. And the one that may be coming out firing the most here will be Aaron Prosper, who seems to have built the momentum round after round. Jerry may have seemed to have taken his foot off the gas there, but I don't think that's where he was tired. I think that might be where he was regrouping. Let's see as we go into round number 8.
And for Sajay, don't forget, first fight in over a year, 13 months out of the ring. You wouldn't blame him for feeling it at this stage of the contest. He's going to have to leave it all out there. I think he might just go for it in these final few rounds. You mentioned a crossroads fight for Prosper, but for Sajay as well. Where do you go from this one? This is the difference between making up the numbers on a prelims and forcing yourself onto the main cards and being the headline act.
Yep, high stakes here for sure. High stakes for the winner and not so much for the loser, because that rebuild, that regroup is not particularly nice. When you have to drop down to when you've had a taste of the big time like this, you know, both guys are going to want that. They're going to want to stay there for sure.
Saji, the man who has held this title, looking for his time again in the spotlight. Aaron Prosper desperate to take that away from him. And a shocking thrust round the side. Aaron Prosper would be delighted with his work so far. As you said, Spence, he took that last round off a little bit. You need to step back on it now.
Yep, that's what he needs to do. Sajay boxing with the hands low, trying to draw him in. But that's good work there. Slams the body shot in, slips, but that was just a slip. He slammed the right hook around the body. You heard that slamming to the rib cage, and he's trying to build on that now as the crowd try and get behind him.
Well, it's a great body shot, and I think it has really hurt Saji because he's not moved a lot since it. I think if it wasn't for that little slip on the back foot, that didn't give Prosper the chance to back up that work. Saji can think himself a little bit lucky there.
It's been a tough fight. Both of these guys here, they put a lot into it. There's only a couple of rounds left in this one. You expect one of them to put the foot on the gas and give it everything.
Prosper going for the big shot submission, but a lovely right hand straight through. Saji just standing square on and taking it. Took it well.
You say that, Gaz, but I tell you what, the mouth's open. He's feeling it here. He's showing character. He's digging deep here, Sajay, and he has to.
Needs to keep those defences up, though. The jab of Prosper getting through. Can't quite find that left hook, but now gets through with another couple of straight shots right on the money. Saji hanging on. He wants to hear the bell. Gets through with a right hand of his own. Say what, credit to him.
Yeah, you can't question his heart, that's for sure. You can't question both of their hearts, these two, because those last 8 rounds have been very, very impressive, very, very competitive, tough. And now the physicalities have left both of these men. It's now a psychological battle, a mental warfare going on in there. A mental battle between themselves, who can dig deep, and that's the difference between champions and challengers. And I think we're going to find that out over these next couple of rounds.
Well, I suppose from Saji's point of view, if it becomes a bit of a war in the last couple of rounds, it suits him because he's got to go for it now. He's got to roll the dice.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is. You know that everyone has a checkout point, everyone has a pain threshold. It's the guy that can go to the deepest, darkest place, and that's basically where these guys are at now. Like I said, the physicalities have left these guys now. It's now a mental battle in there, and this is a psychological battle. Who can win that one?
2 more rounds to decide who will take this English title.
For us at the moment, we've got Prosper in a pretty handy lead, couple of rounds up anyway, after the disastrous start where he touched the canvas, short right hand, done that. He's come back very, very well.
Right hand from Saji, I think, knows he needs to go on the offensive here. Is there a danger that Prosper looks to defend what he's got, retreat and go a little bit negative as he tries to whip that left hand to the body again?
Well, I just don't think that Prosper, that's in his style. I think he's the type of guy that, you know, likes to put his foot on the gas. That's where he's most successful. That's good work from Prosper again there. Right hand, left hook gets through. They may look like they're hitting the gloves, but trust me, they're taking their toll. You feel those shots. Sajay, he's really digging deep in there at the moment. Very, very impressed actually. You've got to respect it. The way that, you know, he's stuck to his game plan. He could have unravelled a couple of rounds ago, but he's still there.
And has kept walking forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's a good left hand, and he felt it. Just kidding on Prosper there. Sergio, who tried to come out swinging himself, but I think Aaron Prosper has got him where he wants him. At this stage, when Prosper, you feel, has got his number, what does he need to do to take him out?
Well, he's just got to keep continuing doing what he's doing, go through the gears. That's what we need here. He's having great momentum. He's working the body well, working the head well. But he's in against an experienced campaigner in Mikey Sajay, who's shown so much character, man, and he's very, very stubborn. He recognises that this is probably his last opportunity at this level, and he's not going down without a fight.
Well, he's not going to go down easy, Mikey Sajay, and still possesses that threat. Closing stages of the penultimate round in this, the main event of the prelims here at the Copper Box. And it's been fitting off that.
And it's been worthy of that, Gaz. Both guys have fought very, very tough here. Good work, good spell.
Big finish to the round.
Another solid round of boxing there from both guys. Sajay had his moments, but Prosper had the better ones, and he had the better finish to that round as well. And you just feel at this stage of the fight, at this stage of the contest, and it's been a good one, Sajay needs to find something, needs to find the knockout to come out victorious here. Because Prosper, for me, has been winning these rounds. Yes, they've been competitive. It's been a decent contest, as it should be for the vacant English super lightweight title. Prosper, this might just be his moment. He may be 3 minutes away from victory and moving on and building on that Southern Area title that he's just recently won.
Well, no exaggeration to say this could be the biggest 3 minutes in each of these men's careers, so they have to go for it. Prosper will want to make it decisive, will not want to leave it to chance. For Sajay, he's got to just throw caution to the wind now, hasn't he?
Yep, Sajay, he's got to do that now. He can't spend too much time covering up, but it's Prosper the one that's come out all guns blazing.
The big
body shots, head shots, good variety in there.
Again, trying to tee up that uppercut, Prosper. Real meaningful shots at the start of the 10th and final round from Aaron Prosper. You can tell he's a man who's not going to leave it to chance.
Yeah, what a quality fight we've had between these two. Both showed so much character. Put everything on the line for the paying public that are in here to see it. For the viewers watching on the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel on DAZN. This has been a real barn burner between two guys that know that there's a lot on the line for the winner here. Puts him in the mix.
And these, just the prelims. 5 more fights to come on the main card, and if you fancy staying up late, another 4 from LA. As Prosper starts to go through the gears.
Drills through the guard with a lovely right uppercut moments ago. Sajay taking them well, holding his ground. He knows he needs to find something from somewhere, and he's not going down without a fight. Cracking little contest, this one.
Well, Prosper desperate to end it with a flourish, but has to be careful. Sajay has already put him down with a great counter in that first round. It seems like a lifetime ago now. Perhaps a few thoughts of what might have been going through the mind of Mikey Sajay, but he's still got just under a minute to turn this in his favour.
Can he do it? Can he find it? The million-dollar question. We're 40 seconds away from finding that out. Prosper has done very, very well to come back from a disastrous start in that first round. The crowd have loved this one. We've loved this one. Hope you guys at home watching it out of two, because it's been a cracking little contest.
Nice work from Prosper. It just looked like he was just happy to see out the final few moments with nothing silly, but then just reminds everyone he's well on top with a nice combination, all scoring shots. That has been the story since the first round knockdown. Aaron Prosper put on the canvas, but has got up to surely take the English super lightweight title. A magnificent 9 rounds following that. And Spencer, whoever gets it, will have fully merited it.
Oh, listen, you know, when you're talking about what these guys are putting on the line for the paying public, they left it all in the ring. You know, what a quality contest from two gladiators of the sport. And that's what they are, they're gladiators. They got in there and they fought their hearts out and fought to a standstill. Torrid start from Aaron Prosper. He showed the character, the winning mentality by coming back the way he come back. And for me, has done enough to win that contest, but thoroughly enjoyed that one. What an entertaining night we've had so far, and brilliant fights to come to look forward to too.
10 all-action rounds, and as the man sat just to the left of me, Adam Smith would say, what an hors d'oeuvre to the main action to come, and he's the man who's going to be calling it, alongside Darren Barker and of course Barry Jones. Harlem Eubank against David Papot to come, plus 4 more fights on the main card here, live from the Copper Box on DAZN. Spencer's got more work to do with Talk Sport when we're finished. Fortunately, this will be my last action of the night. Let's see who's got the English super lightweight title. It's over to Huss. Huss has gone back to the abacus, which is never a good sign. But if there's one man who can do his maths, it's Huss. He's been on enough weird and wonderful cards down the last few years for it. The man in the middle of X series. Right, the confusion looks to be over. Who has got the vacant English super lightweight title? Let's find out now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored about 97 to 92. And your winner by unanimous decision and your new English super lightweight champion, Aaron Prosper.
Aaron Prosper adds the English title to his Southern Area version. Bigger and better to come from him, but this was a fight worthy of the crown. Spencer, the right man?
Yeah, absolutely. Commiserations to Mikey Sajay, who put up a great performance. Entertaining fight, but the right man won tonight. Aaron Prosper was a very, very worthy winner. What a great night we've had so far. What a great night we've got coming up. Live on DAZN.
Well, Spencer, thoroughly enjoyed that, and we're going to thoroughly enjoy what's to come. Harlem Eubank against David Papot, plus undercard just moments away. The boxers rock so far tonight. It's going to be positively bouncing next. Stay with us, live on DAZN.
A rivalry going back 1,000 years. A name that carries the weight of expectation.
He's here! Simply the best!
A fighter burning with the fire of injustice.
Papot, you are a hero for the French.
In boxing's most exciting division. Is there a seat left at the table? Who will stake their claim?
Saturday Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
AWSAI is leading innovation in sports. Now fans can dive into every detail of the Bundesliga. Understand Formula One strategy as it unfolds. See NBA insights that were once invisible. And get closer to every shot on the PGA Tour. How do the world sports leagues advance? AWSAI is how.
Royal Marines don't fear the cold. We embrace it. Once you conquer the cold, obstacles become opportunities. And the harshest environments on Earth become your home. And when that happens, there's nowhere left for the enemy to hide. Royal Marines Commando, it's a state of mind.
Introducing the casino you love to hate, Mr. Q. Kramer for three. Got it! Unbelievable! Puts it up and in.
Five teams racing to become champions of the water.
This is the future of racing.
They are going to collide, surely. These flying. What a race we've got here.
Ronaldo.
With an absolute stunner. Yeah! Oh my word!
Rosso per Zidane.
Another absolute screamer, and still Lamine! Genius from Lamine Yamal.
Harry Kane!
One of the most exhilarating down-to-the-wire championship fights we have seen.
The world's greatest drivers gather.
Oh, right on the door handles. What a spectacle! Kick on the way! There is nothing like the Super Bowl. Let's make history! This is sensational! The genius of modern boxing!
Kramer for three. Got it! Unbelievable! Puts it up and in.
Five teams racing to become champions of the water.
This is the future of racing.
They are going to collide, surely. These flying. What a race we've got here.
Ronaldo. Oh, genius!
Van Persie with an absolute stunner. Yeah! Oh my word!
Rosso per Zidane.
Another absolute screamer, and still Lamine! Genius from Lamine Yamal. Harry Kane!
One of the most exhilarating down-to-the-wire championship fights we have seen.
The world's greatest drivers gather.
Oh, right on the door handles.
What a spectacle!
Let's go, man!
Kick on the way! There is nothing like the Super Bowl.